On a cold, windy day in western Kansas, the 2-1A championship will be decided today between Smith Center and Olpe. Hi, everyone. Jay Sanderson along with Paul Savage here at Lewis Field Stadium in Hayes on the campus of Fort Hays State University, where today we've got two very different programs that come from very different backgrounds. Smith Center, 4 consecutive state titles, 7 overall, looking to break a new Kansas State record today. They've won 66 games overall, Paul. A win today would give them the all-time record.
You know, you think about that, that's just an amazing number. That is a lot of wins. When so much can go wrong in a football game, special teams, offense, defense, something can go wrong, a penalty here, a penalty there, and you lose a football game. To win that many games in a row is truly amazing.
Olpe is comparatively unknown, but they're no stranger to the state playoffs. This is their 4th consecutive trip to the postseason. 2 years ago, when this year's seniors were sophomores, they played in the state semifinals. So they're not a stranger to playing in games that matter.
This is a team that's, hey, this isn't their first rodeo. These are experienced football players at this stage of the season. This is nothing new for these kids. They understand at this time of the season what it takes to win a football game, what it takes to beat a team like Smith Center.
Now, as far apart as they are in their history, they may be even further apart in their offensive style of play. Smith Center, very vanilla offensively. They're going to run and run and run and run. It's vanilla, but it's very effective.
Well, it is effective. You'll basically see one formation. It'll be a double tight formation with a wishbone look, and threats 3 backs in the backfield. What you'll see is basically the same play. They'll run that same play inside. They'll run it to the outside. They'll vary up a couple of the running backs they give the ball to. But it's basically all the same play. Smith Center will line up and tell Olpe, stop us if you can.
Olpe likes to mix it up a lot more. They run a lot of different formations. They'll give a lot of different looks to the defense, and they're not scared to throw the ball. Their quarterback, Matt Rediger, does a good job under center, does a real nice job running the offense, not afraid to hand it off, not afraid to throw it.
No, I mean, Opie's got to throw the football to win this football game, but it's so important for Olpe to be able to establish the run. This is a situation for Olpe where running the football will allow to open up the safeties, hold them back, do things that will allow them to get the football downfield in their pass game. But Opie's got to run the football if they want to be successful.
Defensively, these guys are very, very good. Both sides are. A lot of focus is placed on the offense, and the defense may be understated just a little bit. Smith Center gives up fewer than 9 points a game, and in a 5-week stretch from week 5 through the first round of the playoffs, Paul, they had 5 straight shutouts.
Well, think about that. 5 straight shutouts. I mean, when other teams in this world of offensive spread, when all the great offenses are going on and people are getting better offensively, to have that many shutouts. This is a very, very good defensive team. And quite frankly, this is a defensive team that hasn't gotten its true just rewards and the praise that they should be getting.
Olpe, even better defensively. They've given up just 63 points in 12 games this season. 4 shutouts, and they gave up double digits in scoring just 1 time, and that was way back in the first week of the season.
Well, here again, you know, here's another football team that their defense just doesn't get the credit they should. This is a very good football team. We've seen them on film. This is a football team that runs to the football very well. There will be a lot of those green and gold shirts around the football at the end of offensive play for Smith Center.
So the critical matchup today will be Olpe's defense against Smith Center's offense. And so, Paul, really, where will today's game be won?
This game will actually be won on Olpe's defensive line. If Olpe's defensive line can control their gaps, get to the football, not allow rushing lanes, this may be a chance for Olpe to win a state championship.
The 2A championship will be decided after the break. Smith Center and Olpe is next.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Hutchinson Community College has something for everyone. With more than 60 areas of study, affordable cost, and convenient locations, HCC has got it all. HCC is the Center for Excellence in Healthcare, Public Safety, and Biotechnology Education. Whether you're looking for one class or an entire degree, in person or online, let us show what we have special for you. Schedule a visit by calling 1-888-GO-HUTCH or log on to hutchcc.edu. Hutchinson Community College has something for everyone, but something special for you.
Toy Boy is zooming into town with his velvet bag full of Christmas gifts.
Here he is now. What are some of the gifts we're giving away, Toy Boy?
Gift certificates from great stores here in Wichita, a men's watch, earrings, and a 1-carat diamond ring from Mike Seltzer Jewelers.
Go to these fine stores to register for Toy Boy's Velvet Bag Surprises.
Register at Mike Seltzer Jewelers and Bookaholic.
Toy Boy's Velvet Bag Surprises.
For as long as children have looked forward to Christmas, someone very special has been there to help spread happiness. That special someone has worked hard every year to bring Christmas to every child, everywhere. And this year, like every year, he needs your help. Give a new unwrapped toy to Toys for Tots with a Marine Corps Reserve.
Drop off unwrapped toys at McDonald's in Andover and Sedgwick County.
Just about set to get things going from Hayes. Olpe will kick it away. Smith Center won the opening coin toss and opted to take the ball in the first half. Olpe wearing its road white uniforms with green pants, or gold pants rather, gold helmets, green numbers. Smith Center wearing its home uniforms in red this afternoon. Paul, any final thoughts before we get going?
Well, this should be a heck of a football game. This is going to be a very, very physical football game.
Cole Kruger kicks it away to start the ball game. And the 2A championship game is underway. They'll run a reverse to Colt Rogers on the kickoff return. Gets it outside about the 20, and he steps out of bounds at the 20-yard line, and that's where the Redmen will start. Let's kick it down to our third member of our broadcast crew, and Trista Hall.
Well, guys, it's obvious that this is the biggest game of the season, and right now the electricity and all of the fans are just standing on their feet. Everyone is so excited. I got a chance to be down here on the sidelines just a little bit before the kickoff. All the guys were pumped up. The energy and the excitement, the enthusiasm. I got a chance to talk to Coach Barta before the game, and although his players were pumped, he was kind of all he really wanted to talk about was the pheasant hunting he saw on the way down here to the game. Coach Schmidt, on the other hand, he was a little bit more tense, more ready to play the game. He told me they're just ready to play their game, and they're just ready to play football. So I'm excited to see what kind of game Olpe has brought to the stands today.
On first down, Colt Rogers gets the handoff for Smith Center. Picks up about 5 yards out to the 25. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Redmen. See this same formation all afternoon out of Smith Center. The double tight wishbone look. This time they'll go to Joe Osborne. He's got some room to run around the outside. Across midfield. To the 30, one man to beat. He can't do it. Touchdown Smith Center. 2 plays in, and we've already got a score.
You've got to defend every gap. We talked about this in the pregame, Jay, that every gap has to be defended. Smith Center's going to run the same play over and over and over. They're going to lead up with 2 backs. They're going to hand to the 3rd back through. You've got to defend every gap on this football field if you want to stay in this game with Smith Center.
75 yards on the touchdown score for Joe Osborne. And Smith Center takes the lead. They're going to go for 2, which they will do almost every play after a touchdown. And they'll hand it off up the middle, and it comes up short. So the extra point try is no good. 11-10 to go in the first quarter. Smith Center 6, Olpe nothing.
Well, this sure isn't what Coach Schmidt wanted to start. This is not how he wanted to start a football game. You give up a 75-yard run on the second play. You play your first play from scrimmage pretty well. You close down the running lanes. You do what you got to do. You hold Smith Center to a 5-yard game, which, by the way, isn't all that bad on first down when you look at the quality athletes that this Smith Center team has. But this is sure not the way Coach Schmidt wanted to start this football game.
Smith Center on the season has rushed for almost 6,000 yards. That puts them over the 5,900 mark rushing yards on the season. And in just 12 games, Paul, that is an unbelievable number.
Well, and what makes that number so unbelievable is just the fact that it's basically the same formation with the same play and just a couple variations. We talked about this in the pregame. We said, Olpe knows what they're going to do. Smith Center says, we know you know what we're going to do. Now you just stop us. And it's up to Olpe to step up and play. Linebackers got to play downhill. Defensive linemen have to attack. It just has to be one of those team efforts where you do your job.
So Logan Tuxhorn will kick it away for Smith Center. Should check that. It's going to be Trenton Terrell that does the kicking duties here this afternoon for Smith Center. He'll kick it away to Olpe. It's a low kick. They'll be taken by one of the up-backs. He's got a little bit of room to run. Ball comes loose. No signal yet. It looked like Olpe may have gotten a shot at it down at the bottom of the pile, and they did. Olpe recovers it, and a very fortuitous bounce for the Eagles. That would have been devastating if Smith Center would have forced the turnover there.
Well, I mean, you know, other than a 75-yard run, which is even more devastating on the second play, that would have just taken the air out of your football team. But getting the ball back was important. But how important is this drive? It's important that Olpe control this football, that they get some first downs, that they control the clock, and that they have some sort of a way with Olpe. I mean, with the Smith Center. Olpe's got to move the football on this drive.
Olpe's going to come out in a 4 wide receiver set on first down from its own 36-yard line. They'll look to throw Redeker on the short side of the field to Klumpy. And he's corralled on the sideline. Man making the tackle in there for Smith Center is going to be Logan Tuxhorn.
Well, Olpe obviously has the wind at their back on this first quarter. They're going to take advantage of that. You know, I'm a little surprised that they throw the football on the first down. But really, that's pretty smart football. Throw a short hitch, throw a successful pass, throw a pass that's catchable, and let's move the chains here on a second down if they can.
8-yard gain on the play makes it 2nd and 2. This time the quarterback going to keep it. Redeker got the first down out across midfield into the Smith Center into the field for the first down. He's brought down on the play by Chris Lehman, the linebacker.
Nice misdirection play by Olpe. You saw the defensive players on the offensive line and the linebackers step to the first back through thinking that's who had it. The quarterback pulls the football and comes back through to the backside. That's a really nice misdirection play by Olpe.
Smith Center 6, Olpe nothing, 10:15 to go first quarter. A 75-yard run on the second play from scrimmage gives Smith Center the advantage. Olpe here with the ball just inside of midfield. And again, they'll look to throw, and it's complete inside the 435 down to the 32. And it's caught by Cole Kruger, the tailback, coming out of the backfield to make that reception.
Well, let's give the Olpe offensive line credit. He had plenty of time. Smith Center was just caught off a little guard. I'm not sure they were expecting a pass on that particular play, but that's just a nice slant. He's running a little deeper slant, a nice pitch, a nice catch. First down, Olpe.
We've seen that 4 wide receiver look every time now out of Olpe, clearly wanting to establish the passing game here in the first quarter. Again, the quarterback will keep it. Redeker has some room up the middle, found a seam inside the 20-yard line, gets a first down, a 12-yard pickup on the play down to the 19-yard line. So, Paul, very balanced attack here out of Olpe in the first quarter.
You know, we thought that Olpe probably would run the football to establish the pass. It's just been the opposite in this first drive. They've used the pass to establish the run. Really smart football. That's heads up by Coach Schmidt and his staff.
The quarterback, Matt Redeker, doesn't carry it a whole lot, 322 rushing yards on the season, but he's been able to find some room up the middle. Again, they'll look to throw, and it's picked off. Out on the outside, that's Ethan Eastis, his second interception of the season. And just like that, Smith Center regains momentum after the Olpe offense was able to drive the ball.
Well, that's a difficult pass to throw. That's all the way across the field from the far hash. That's a tough pass to throw. But I'll tell you what, I do not believe that these Olpe kids are going to put their heads down. They just moved the football on a 4-time state champion. Moved it efficiently, moved it effectively. These Olpe kids now know they can play with Smith Center.
So Smith Center gains back the momentum, 1st and 10 at its own 34. Wishbone in the backfield. And they'll bounce it to the outside with Colt Rogers. And they're able to limit him to just a 2-yard gain on the play out to the 36. Tackle made on the play by Cole Kruger.
We talked earlier in this show about the ability of Olpe to defend all the way out to the sideline. Because if Smith Center cannot move the football in the inside gaps, they're going to have to bounce some stuff to the outside. They've got to stretch that football all the way to the sideline, and the defensive end or the outside linebacker has to say, come on, guys, I need some help. Get out here and help me make a play.
Smith Center 6, Olpe nothing. 8:40 to go first quarter. And the Redmen with the ball on a 2nd and 8 call. They'll give it to one of the blocking backs, and he's only able to pick up a yard. He runs right into the middle of the pile. That's going to be Colt Rogers.
You know, how many times has anybody been able to say, hey, we've got Smith Center 3rd and long? This is a running offense. This is an offense that will not throw the football very often. third and long is probably a position that this offense is not used to being in.
3rd and 7 at the 42-yard line for Smith Center.
Get in there, Red!
Long count out of the Redmen. And the ball's loose. It's on the ground. Smith Center is able to recover it. Joel Osborne comes up with the fumble recovery. A loss of 3 on the play. But Olpe, again, answering the bell to the turnover.
You know, you look at a team like Olpe and you say to yourself, you know, these kids came to play because they had a chance to get their daughters down a little bit. They just threw a pick. It was rushed back about 10 or 15 yards. Now they step up on the defensive side and 3 and out, one of the best football teams in the state of Kansas, in the history of the state of Kansas. 3 and out, kick the ball. Now let's come back and move the football. That's what the Olpe offense is saying.
Smith Center is going to punt it away. Is nearly blocked. Marshall McCall with the punt, and it's wrapped up immediately on the return at the 42-yard line. Cole Kruger on the return, doesn't get a whole lot. 7:06 to go, first quarter. Smith Center leads 6-0.
What is he doing? Said something about not driving through Texas without getting a shot of a bull.
Guys!
Ooh. Maybe we should help him. First one to get an empty chip?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos, loaded with toppings so there are no empty chips.
Not it. Not it.
He seems angry!
Not it. Not it. Not it. Oh, not it.
What is wrong with you? Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos.
Not it.
Cherry Orchard Furniture says, keep your cash for the holidays. Over 100 dining rooms, bedroom sets, and living room groups. Everything in the store is red tagged. Up to 50% off. Mattress sets from just $98. Curios, grandfather clocks, and recliners all drastically reduced. Or keep your cash for the holidays. With no money down and no interest for up to 24 months. Hurry in today while the selection's best.
Shop Cherry Orchard Furniture for selection, price, and quality.
Smith Center leads Olpe 6-0, 7:06 to go in the first quarter. Second play from scrimmage, Joe Osborne, a 75-yard touchdown run, gave Olpe the advantage, but Olpe was able to drive the ball before the interception.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge. That's huge for Olpe. That sent a signal to Smith Center that, you know, you just can't walk over us, but it also says to the Olpe kids, we can play with these guys.
So Olpe, after the punt by Smith Center, will have it 1st and 10 at its own 42. This time they'll go with a 3 wide receiver look. They're going to split out a little flanker back out to the left side with 2 in the backfield. And again, they'll look to throw. Rediker has time, has a man, and it's complete at the 35. A big gainer for the Eagles, and that is going to be Cole Kruger out of the backfield once again. Couple big passes going to the tailback coming out of the backfield.
Taking advantage of a wind at your back and throwing the football down the field, running a nice post pattern, and throwing it into coverage. But it's a perfect pass, a perfect catch. It doesn't get any better than that if you're an Olpe fan.
25 yards on the play, puts the ball down at the 32-yard line in the Smith Center end of the field. So Olpe, very effective on the passing game, will once again go with a 4 wide receiver look here for quarterback Matt Rediker. Throw a little screen pass, and it's incomplete. They were looking out onto the near side for Lyndon Stevie, the sophomore who's caught about 12 passes this season. Not used very often, but that could have been a very effective play behind the line of scrimmage.
You know, Smith Center's going to make a decision here pretty soon. You know, they're rushing 4 guys. They're not getting any pass rush on the quarterback. They're going to make a decision here pretty soon to probably say we got to start bringing a backer, bringing a safety, doing some things to try to get some pressure on the quarterback.
6:36 to go in the first quarter. Smith Center 6, Olpe nothing. They'll run it on 2nd and 10. And again, Rediker's able to find some room up the middle. Paul, do you think maybe Smith Center's spreading the field out defensively a little bit, and that's creating that same up the middle for to run the ball?
Well, you know, people think that just because you spread the field, you can't run the football, when really that spreads the field. It spreads defenders out. It makes the ball carriers, whether it's a receiver out in the flat or a ball carrier on a toss sweep or whatever it is, play in space. And ball carriers want to play in space. That's what they want to do. So yeah, these formations are causing problems for Smith Center.
6-yard pickup on the play sets up a 3rd and 4 for the Eagles. And once again, they'll look to throw towards the far side of the field. A little bit of pressure, and he's brought down. Redeker sacked in the backfield. Dylan Corbett able to make the stop along with Matt Atwood. They'll each get credit for a half sack. It's a loss of 10 on the play. It'll be 4th and 14.
Yeah, now Opie's done a great job with pass protection up to this point. But I'll tell you what, that sack is not the fault of the offensive line. That was great coverage. All 4 receivers, the 2 to the top, the 2 to the bottom, were covered. Smith Center sitting in a little zone, picking up in the back, safety's dropping back, and boom, all of a sudden you have great coverage, and it allows a defensive lineman to make a sack, and that was huge for Smith Center.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 12 with Opie, lining up 3 receivers to the near side. And the pass is complete, but it's going to be short of the first down. Again, they hit Kruger coming out of the backfield, but it is short of the first down, so Smith Center will take over on downs. 4:59 to go. Smith Center 6, Opie nothing. We'll take a timeout.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Hutchinson Community College has something for everyone. With more than 60 areas of study, affordable cost, and convenient locations, HCC has got it all. HCC is the Center for Excellence in Healthcare, Public Safety, and Biotechnology Education. Whether you're looking for one class or an entire degree, in person or online, let us show what we have special for you. Schedule a visit by calling 1-888-GO-HUTCH or log on to hutchcc.edu. Hutchinson Community College has something for everyone, but something special for you.
Olpe went for it on a 4th and 12 call. Came up about a yard shy of the first down. The officials came out and measured it just for good measure, so to speak. And Smith Center regains the ball on possession.
I'll tell you what, though, how impressed are you with Opie and their ability to throw the football? They're setting receivers on the numbers. I mean, that's how much of the field they're trying to spread Smith Center. And truly, the pass is setting up the run. Quarterback follow, lead plays, sweeps, you name it, it's setting up the run. This is going to be an interesting football game, but Opie's got to continue to chew up the clock, and it's got to be able to make first downs and drive the football.
So Smith Center regains possession at its own 24-yard line with a 6-0 advantage here, 4:59 to go in the first quarter. Redmond will hand it off to the fullback up the middle. Not a whole lot doing there before several tacklers were able to get in there. Travis Rempe, on the ball carry.
You know, we talked about the defensive line for Opie being the key to this football game. When they play like that, and they're able to take on the offensive line and stuff them in their gaps, this is going to be a long day for Smith Center, because if Smith Center doesn't have success running the football in B and C gap, where do they run the football? What do they do? What formations do they go to? They don't have anything.
A 2-yard pickup on the play, setting up a 2nd and 8 here for Smith Center. And this time they'll go to Joe Osborne. Tries to bounce it around to the outside, picks up a couple before several Opie tacklers are able to get in there on the stop. Bradley Argerbright, the last man to climb off the pile.
3rd and 4, you've got a medium down and distance to go. Big down for Opie. If they can hold and make Smith Center punt into the wind, then this is a big series and a 3-and-out for Opie.
3rd and 4 as the crowd here at Lewis Field Stadium comes to its feet on the Smith Center side of the field. Wishbone formation, as we'll see all day. And again, they'll go to Osborne on the outside. He's got room to run again across the 50. One man to beat, and that's Redeker. And he's going to bust free. One more guy, and it's going to be a touchdown. The second long run of the day for Joe Osborne. And Smith Center takes a 12-0 advantage.
Well, stuff the line of scrimmage, stuff the line of scrimmage, and then break one to the outside. We talked earlier about how important it is to defend all the way from the in-man on the line of scrimmage to the sideline. And if you don't do that, it's not a very long distance out to the side and getting down the sideline for a score. Both of the offensive plays that have scored touchdowns have been the same. That's bouncing it to the outside.
71 yards on the touchdown run for Osborne. So he has runs of 75 and 71 yards here, and there's still 3:42 to go in the first quarter. On the two-point try, Fort Rogers gets it in and makes it 14-0. Smith Center leading over Olpe. 3:42 to go in the first quarter. We'll take a timeout, the kickoff, when we come back.
Don't just watch your local news. Experience it like you've never seen it before.
KWCH 12 Eyewitness News is now in high definition.
Pictures sharper, brighter, clearer.
Such a higher quality picture, you'll see the difference on any TV.
The only local station covering your community in high definition.
Watch it tonight and every night. Only on KWCH 12 Eyewitness News. Expect more.
Okay.
Two long runs by Joe Osborne, a touchdown run of 75 yards and a touchdown run of 71 yards have given Smith Center a 14-0 lead over Olpe here with 3:42 to go in the first quarter. Osborne has touched the ball 3 times, has gone for 150 yards, and has scored twice.
You know, that's not a bad average per carry, wouldn't you say, Jay?
That's pretty good, about 50 yards a carry.
But I'll tell you the one thing that I still get the feeling about Olpe, even though they're down 14-0, but they could still move the football. And not only can they move the football, when they're on defense, I still think they get the feeling that they can stop this Smith Center team.
So Terrell to kick it away once again, and Argabright will take it at the 16. Has some room up the middle, and he might bust this one. To the 40, to the 30, and a special teams touchdown by Olpe. You talk about a team getting hit in the mouth, they responded right back.
You know, that's just a sign of a resilient, well-coached football team. Hats off to Coach Schmidt and his staff for getting these kids to come back, because a lot of teams would say 14-0 against a team with 66 straight wins. Are you kidding me? This is a great job and a great turnaround. This gives Olpe something to play for, and that's huge when it comes to a state championship game. 84
yards on the kickoff return for a touchdown for Brad Argabright, and that gets Olpe on the board with 3:31 to go in the first quarter. So the Eagles will try to kick the extra point. Cole Kruger on to try the PAT. Penalty flags fly on the try, so they'll whistle it dead, and we'll do it again.
I'm not sure I saw what the penalty is. We'll get the call in just a second.
And it's going to be encroachment against Smith Center, so they'll mark it off half the distance.
So what do you think? Do you send in the offense? Do you say let's go ahead and go for 2, or do you just go ahead and kick it and go down 7-14?
Olpe's kicked the ball all season long. I think at this point in the first quarter, you probably just go ahead and kick it anyway.
Kick the football. Kick the football. That's exactly right, Jay.
So that's what they're going to do. 3:31 to go in the opening quarter. And after Smith Center has gotten a couple of long runs, Olpe showing that they're not afraid to go right back at it and answer the bell.
I liked your comment where you said a hit in the mouth. That's exactly right. Hit them in the mouth and let them get back up. They'll come at you again.
So this time the PAT is good. 14-7 is now the score. Olpe cuts the lead in half. The Kansas State High School Activities Association would like to thank Smith Center High School for producing this 2-1A State Football Championship broadcast. All the work you're seeing on the air today is being done primarily by high school students.
Well, I'll tell you what, these kids do a great job. They're running wires and stretching things here and putting cameras there. You know, they're handling equipment that costs more than you and I make in 5 years. And it's fun to see these kids do this and take this so seriously. It's really fun to see young kids like that perform something so special. And our hats off to these young, fine kids.
So, Paul, we've seen Smith Center bounce 2 long runs out to the outside. If you're the Olpe defensive coaching staff, how do you go about stopping that and preventing that from happening again?
Well, you got to make sure that your defensive end keeps his ball side, outside arm free. I mean, you've got to do that. You've got to make sure that your kids don't come in. I mean, because Smith Center will bounce the ball outside, you can't commit your corners and your safeties all to the inside of the formation. You've got to make sure that somebody is to the outside, that somebody is protecting that bounce out, that somebody can get out on that edge and chase the ball and make the ball stretch all the way to the sideline.
14-7, Smith Center with the lead over the Olpe Eagles. Cole Kruger will kick it away after the kickoff return for a touchdown by Olpe's Brad Argabright. The Olpe fans come to their feet on the far sideline as the ball's in the air. And they'll hand it off on the reverse. Colt Rogers on the return, out across the 25, gets knocked down by one of his own players at the 30-yard line. A couple of Olpe players were in there around for the tackle, but really the momentum knocking him to the ground was brought on by Trevor Rimpey, his own teammate.
Well, and Smith Center gets the ball at the 30. If you're Olpe, you say, all right, that's not bad. I'd like it around the 15 or the 20. But, you know, we can play with these guys. We can stop anything they do. And if we can stop the outside plays, the things that bounce the outside, we're back in this football game.
1st and 10 from the 30 for Smith Center with a 14-7 lead with 3:22 to go in the first quarter. Handoff goes up the middle. Not a whole lot of gain, maybe 2 or 3 yards for Smith Center. The handoff goes to Trevor Rimpey, and it'll be 2nd down.
Smith Center's got to be thinking to themselves, you know, we run the same plays every game. We've done it for years and years. We're not getting much on 1st down. 2, 3, 4 yards. We got 4 yards that time. Smith Center's going, what's going on here? They're not used to having an offensive line that's not getting movement at the point of attack.
On 2nd and 7. This time they'll go to Rogers, and he runs right into Pyle. Brad Argabright in there on the stop for Smith Center, along with the linebacker Alex Dreyer, the 205-pound junior.
Now, Jay, if you're an Olpe defensive coach, where do you think the ball might go on 3rd and 5?
Probably to the outside.
It might be to the outside. You know that those defensive coaches for Olpe are yelling, come on, guys, outside. You've got outside contained. Make the ball stretch to the sideline.
3rd and 4 for the Red Men. They've had 1 3-and-out earlier in the ball game. Trying to get a second one is the Olpe defense. It does go to the outside. Joe Osborne once again, and again he has some room to run to the outside. Tries the reverse field, cuts back toward the middle, and he's brought down at the 40-yard line in the Olpe end of the football field. Pushed out of bounds over there by Brad Argabright, also by Josh Klumpy.
Well, so far the Olpe game plan has been flawless, all except for that outside thing, which seems to be a real bugaboo for Olpe. But I'll tell you what, that's something that's got to get fixed. If they don't get it fixed, and get it fixed pretty quick, it's going to be a long day. They're still in this ball game. Opie is still able to play, match up pretty well with Smith Center, but they've got a little problem that they've got to get fixed.
Smith Center 14, Olpe 7. 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. The first time the Olpe defense has allowed double figures since the opening week of the season. Handoff comes to the near side. That's Colt Rogers, and he's pushed down inside the 35, about the 32-yard line, a pickup of 9 yards on 1st down before Olpe's Jace Hubert can make the tackle.
Yeah, if you're a Smith Center fan, you go, well, this is more like it. You know, I like 2nd and 1 a whole lot better than I like 2nd and 7. This is normal Smith Center football. This is what they do. Smash you in the mouth, running the football, double lead right at you.
2nd and 1 at the 31. And they'll go to Trevor Rimpey, and he gets inside the 30, good for a 1st down.
Even though the 1st down was made, you know, that was still only, even though it was 2nd and 1, they still only made 2 yards. It is a 1st down. But Smith Center just isn't having success inside the tight ends, are they? They're trying to do some things and get some gains and try to make yardage, but Opie's saying, no, we're going to defend this and defend it hard.
The 4-time defending state 2-1A football champions with the ball, 1st and 10 inside the 30 in the Olpe end of the field. They give it to Rogers, and he is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Josh Klumpy in there makes the tackle for a loss all the way back to the 33. It's a loss of 4.
Now, Opie this time brought a backer to the inside and it forced the ball carrier out because the backer came exactly right where the ball carrier wanted to run the football. He steps out, he bounces out. Opie's defensive end and outside linebacker and safety step down and make the play. That's more like what Opie needs to do.
2nd and 14 for Smith Center with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. They'll give it to Osborne. And this time he's corralled after a gain of about 9.
What a great lead block by number 3 on the linebacker for Opie. We call that a pancake block, a lead up on the backer, and just dropped him on his rear end and was able to spring the running back for about 4 or 5 yards.
That gain of 9 is going to set up a 3rd and 6, and that will be the last play of the first quarter. Smith Center 14, Opie 7 with 12 minutes in the book. We'll take a timeout. You're watching the 2-1A State Football Championship game.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Smith Center 14, Opie 7 as we get set to start the second quarter. Let's go downstairs to Trista Hall.
Well, guys, you guys have been talking about it all game, how Opie needs to extend out to the sidelines. And while I've been down here on Opie sidelines, that's all I hear coaches say is when Joe Osborne gets the ball, make sure you go farther left and right, because he's going to go sidelines. And if he gets on the outside, he's going to juke him all the way down. You've seen it twice. He's got 150 yards. Let's see if Opie can step up and stop him.
A 3rd and 6 call as we start the second quarter for Smith Center at the Olpe 25-yard line. Travis Rempe, the quarterback, will keep it himself this time, out around the end, to the 10, and he's pushed out of bounds. Did he get in? No, he's going to be ruled short at the 1-yard line. So a 24-yard pickup on a 3rd and 5 call puts Smith Center right on the doorstep of another touchdown.
Yeah, Smith Center's has found where they can run the football. It's not to the inside, it's to the outside. That time the lead blockers got out. One got to the safety, one got to the corner, and made great downfield blocks. When you get your lead backs down to your safeties, and they're blocking, and they're able to turn that ball up the sideline, it's out the gate.
Smith Center with 226 yards rushing in the game now after that 24-yard run by Travis Rempe. 1st and goal. Handoff goes up the middle, and not a lot doing there. Trevor Rempe, that is, gets the handoff, and he only picks up about a yard.
Tough yardage down there, isn't it, Jay? I mean, that is a difficult place to run the football. Opie's had success stopping the football where they're running it in between the tight ends. So that's a tough place to run it. Get it out on the edge, which I won't be surprised to see that happen.
2nd and goal from the 1. They'll give it again to Rempe up the middle. And again, he's not able to make any headway. Stopped short of the goal line once again, setting up a 3rd and goal.
You know, if you're not impressed with anything in this football game, and there is a lot to be impressed with the way Smith Center, can get to the edges, but if you're not impressed with the interior of the defensive line of Opie, then I can't help you if you're a football fan, because they have played great football on that interior part of the defensive line.
Twice Smith Center's gone up the middle, and twice the nose guard, Josh Lambert, has made the tackle. Here on 3rd and goal from the 1. This time they'll go to the outside. Colt Rogers again, he stopped short of the goal line. So a tremendous 3-play stand there by the Olpe defense. Bradley Argabright making the tackle, a loss of a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th and goal.
You know how legends are made? You know how you make townspeople in your hometown remember who you are forever? Make a goal line stand. First and goal on the 2-yard line. And you hold one of the best football teams in the state out of the end zone with 2 yards out with 4 down. Become a legend. Step up and make a play.
The crowd comes to life as Smith Center has a 4th and goal call. Now we've got a timeout. The Redmen want to take a timeout. 10:09 to go in the second quarter. Olpe trailing 14-7, trying to make a stand at the goal line. We'll take the timeout right along with them. Smith Center 14, Olpe 7.
What is he doing? Said something about not driving through Texas without getting a shot of a bull.
Guys!
Ooh. Maybe we should help him. First one to get an empty chip?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos, loaded with toppings so there are no empty chips.
Not it. Not it.
He seems angry!
Not it. Not it. Not it. Oh, not it.
What is wrong with you?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos.
Not it.
This is how the world ends. This is how the world. This is how the world. This is how the world ends. The world ends. Not with a whimper, but with a. Jericho returns to network television. See the critically acclaimed drama from the beginning.
Sunday on the Kansas CW.
After the Smith Center timeout, the Redmen face a 4th and goal at the 2-yard line. Olpe with a nice defensive stand at the goal line to this point. Needing one more play to gain a little bit of momentum back. From the 2, Travis Rempe, the quarterback, goes under center. And he'll keep it himself, and he gets to the outside. Touchdown, Smith Center.
Well, Opie's got to do something on the edge. You know, you go 3 straight plays where they try to run it right in the middle in the heart of your defense, and you stop them, you stop them, you stop them. And then they get the ball out on the edge. Opie's coaches have got to figure out something. They've got to adjust something. They've got to move where they align, where they do something. But they've got to make a change in order to, they've got to do something to change the way that Smith Center's getting out on the edge.
It's the 4th rushing touchdown of the season for the quarterback, Travis Rempe. And once again, the Eagles will go for 2. And again, Rempe will keep it himself, cuts it up. And he's going to be ruled short.
Whoa.
The official takes a tumble as he comes in to make the signal that the try was no good.
You got to love an official who will pop up, no hat, everything flying all over the place, and he signals it's no good. Now there's a dedicated official.
So the 2-point try unsuccessful, and the score is now 20-7 in favor of Smith Center.
You know, I still get the feeling, though, that Opie feels that they can play with these guys. If they can get these, and I say little things, I mean, it's one thing that's hurting them. It's a big thing, but it's one thing. If they can get this figured out on how to defend from the end of the formation to the sideline, Opie's in this football game. I'm still convinced they can move the football. They can do what they can do certain things that they want to do on the offensive side of the football, but Opie's got to make some adjustments. It's up to this coaching staff to move some players around. Maybe you move the safeties over. Maybe you move the corners out. Maybe you stack the backers. I don't know what it is, but you've got to do something in order to get players outside on the edge.
On state championship Saturday here in the state of Kansas, 5 games going on across the state today. This one, the first one to kick off. Moments ago, 3 other games kicked off in Emporia, Class 5A. Hutchinson taking on St. Thomas Aquinas. Hutchinson looking for its 5th straight state championship as well. Class 4A in Salina, Perry Lecompton and Topeka Hayden. Hayden coming up with a big upset last week of the defending champion Andale. In Hutchinson, the 3A game kicking off moments ago, Silver Lake and Conway Springs. And in Class 6A, you'll see that game on TV here right after this one. Free State out of Lawrence against Junction City. Smith Center kicks it away. It's picked up by Kruger at the 20. And he is going to be hit and brought down at the 25. A pile of humanity in there, about 5 different tacklers for Smith Center coming away with the tackle. The last man to come out of the pile is going to be Derek McNary, the sophomore.
Well, you know, Opie's now has the ball on the 25. They're going against the wind. It's important that they're able to run the football and try to make Smith Center stretch the field on an occasion with a pass. But you might see some passes, shorter crossers over the middle. try to spread the field, although they're still going to go to 4 wide receivers, try to spread the field, but they're still going to run the football. They've got to against this wind.
20-7, Smith Center, 9:59 to go before halftime. And Olpe will have the ball to start at its own 25. And penalty markers fly, and it looks like it's going to be a false start against Olpe. The movement up front on the offensive line.
You know, if you're Olpe though, you just can't make these kind of mistakes. Little mistakes, lining up in the neutral zone, illegal motions, anything, false starts. You just can't do that. You just can't go 1st and 15 against a defense like this and expect to have success.
So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 20-yard line after the false start penalty against the Eagles. Kruger goes into motion. He'll take the toss on the motion. And he is wrapped up well behind the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to give him forward progress up to the 18, but that'll still be a 2-yard loss on the play.
You know, that was beautifully set up. That was a beautifully set up toss sweep with numbers because they motioned the wing side to the top side, tossed him the ball. They had numbers, but the lead back missed the corner. And when he missed the corner ran right over and made the tackle. You've got to make those blocks downfield if you want anything out on an edge to work.
That toss to the outside there by Olpe, typical Olpe offense. Historically, they've been known as a team that'll pitch it to the outside like that. We've not seen a whole lot of it today. Here on 2nd and 17, they'll go with the 4 wide receiver look, and they'll run the quarterback draw, but he is unable to go anywhere. A great tackle made by the defensive tackle, Trevor Rimpey, comes through, one of the top sackers on the team, and there he's able to come out in there for the stop for no gain.
You know, that's a beautiful job of Smith Center closing because that's sort of a read play where the quarterback has the option of giving to the back or keeping. But he saw a gap. He saw a gap away from the direction of the ball carrier, so he pulled the ball back out. But that gap closed so fast, it just made his head spin.
Redeker will go out of the shotgun on 3rd and 17 with his team down 20-7 with 8:45 to go in the second quarter. He'll look to throw on the long down, finds a man out in the flat, but not a whole lot doing. They picked up 7 yards on the 3rd and 17 call on the pass play to Lyndon Stevie.
I like that play. It gets the ball out of the flats now. If the receiver can just make a juke, make a move, make yardage after the catch. It's so important on a play like that to make yardage after the catch.
Smith Center punted early in the first quarter. This will be the first time Olpe has punted it away this afternoon. They trail it 20-7 with 8 minutes to go. Cole Kruger back there to kick it away. And this was an end-over-ender, not a very good punt. It'll roll across the midfield line, but not much beyond it. The 47-yard line is where it'll be downed.
Well, you know something though, but into that wind, I'm not sure he'll take that. That's not a bad punt. That's the wind is strong enough that ball could hang up and literally come back to where you kicked the football. I'm sure Olpe will take that right now.
We're going to take a timeout. 7:55 to go before halftime. Smith Center 20, Olpe 7.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Toy Boy is zooming into town with his velvet bag full of Christmas gifts.
Here he is now. What are some of the gifts we're giving away, Toy Boy?
Gift certificates from great stores here in Wichita, a men's watch, earrings, and a 1-carat diamond ring from Mike Seltzer Jewelers.
Go to these fine stores to register for Toy Boy's velvet bag surprises.
Register at Mike Seltzer Jewelers and A1 Singer Sewing.
Toy Boy's velvet bag surprises.
Smith Center 20, Olpe 7, with 7:55 to go before halftime. This presentation of the 2-1A State Football Championship is brought to you through a partnership between the Kansas State High School Activities Association and a group of television stations from across the state. KWCH and KSCW in Wichita, KTKA in Topeka, KCTV and KSMO in Kansas City, and KOAM and KFJX in Pittsburgh. Smith Center with the ball, 1st and 10 at its own 47, and they're going to throw for just the 18th time this season, and it's complete. And this play is going to go for a touchdown. Chris Lehman coming from the split-end spot to catch the pass and take it in for a touchdown. 53 yards on the play on just the 4th reception of the season for Lehman.
Well, you know, I'm as shocked as Olpe is at this point. You know, we just didn't expect. You got pretty good ball field position at around the 45-yard line. You would think that they'd just grind it out. But what a great call. What a great call by that coaching staff. The safety gets caught up, a little ball play action fake to the running back. The safety step up, and they're like, and the receiver and the tight end going by the safety. It's like two ships crossing in the night.
That is just the 2nd touchdown pass all season for the Redmen, and it couldn't come at a better time for them as they now take a huge lead. The 2-point try is good, carried in there by Marshall McCall, 28-7. Smith Center with the lead with 7:45 to go before halftime. Let's do it down to the 3rd member of our broadcast team, and Trista Hall.
Guys, you all game about how after 5, all I see is heads being hung. When I was in the huddle the last time they had a huddle, the coaches were just trying to get the guys popped back up like they were before the game. They kept saying, guys, get your heads up. You're playing with a 4-time state championship team. You're still in this game, only down 2 touchdowns, now down 3. Let's see how low their heads get hung now.
7:45 to go before halftime, and Smith Center opens it up on a play call that they have hardly run all season. Coming into today's game, Travis Rimpey, the quarterback, had thrown every pass that Smith Center had attempted. He was 6 of 17 for 136 yards coming into today's game. That's just the 7th pass completion all season for the Redmen, and it goes for a huge touchdown.
Well, that means that they had a ton of football games that they never even completed a pass. I mean, that caught me off guard. It caught you off guard. I don't know how much film we watched of Smith Center, but we watched a lot of film, and I don't recall very many passes. But I'll tell you what, that gets the attention of those safeties, and what that'll mean is that might open up a little bit of some of the rushing lanes, because now the safeties can't cheat. They can't sneak up. They've got to stay back and play some pass.
The kickoff gets over the head of Cole Kruger, and it rolls into the end zone, and it will be a touchback. That was a pretty fortunate bounce for Olpe, because that's a live ball on a kickoff, and Smith Center would have had an opportunity to recover that.
Well, that's not Kruger's fault. I mean, he's done a good job of catching punts, and, you know, a lot of times at the high school level, you'll see kids not catch the football, and it rolls another 30 yards on punts. That ball just went over his head. Kruger's done a good job of fielding kicks in this football game so far.
Smith Center's relied on the big plays today to take a 28-7 advantage here in the 2nd quarter. A 75-yard touchdown run, a 71-yard touchdown run, and a 53-yard pass play have staked them to the 21-point edge over Olpe, who has the ball 1st and 10 at its own 20. Redeker to throw on 1st down, and he hits Clumpy out on the right flat before 5 bodies wearing red come out there to make the stop. Marshall McCall in there on the tackle for Smith Center.
That says something about that arm of that young man. That's a good quarterback. When he throws the football into the wind like that, that says something. That was a nice pass, but you got to give credit to Smith Center. They did a heck of a job of running to the football and making the play.
7:19 to go, clock moving, 2nd quarter. Olpe picks up 6 yards on the 1st down pass play. It'll be 2nd and 4 for the Eagles, as again they'll line up 4 wide receivers, a common look that they've shown today. Redeker has time, and he misses his man. He was looking for Clumpy again out on the right side. Back there in coverage was the quarterback, Joe Osborne.
Well, that's triple coverage. That's a lot of red shirts out there covering one guy. I think they understand what they're going to try. It's a fairly safe pass if you throw it to the ball side arm of the receiver. Anything behind the receiver, though, that ball's picked. But I'm going to give a lot of credit to the Olpe offensive line. They have given that football team a chance to complete passes because their protection has been so good.
3rd and 4 for the Eagles here. On really, Paul, a must-score possession here at this stage of the game.
One would think so. This is a big possession. Get 1st downs, run some time off the clock.
Redeker looks to a man out of the backfield. He was looking for Cole Kruger on the swing pass, but it was batted down. A nice play out there by the defensive end, Dylan Corbett, to bat it down. and set up a 4th and 4.
Yeah, now if you're Coach Schmidt, are you going to go for it? Of course, you know, I'm not so sure that you go. I think you kick it, don't you? Don't you kick this football and line up to play another down? This is a big gamble. 4 yards to go on a 4th down. They are going to kick it. I didn't see anybody run out. I thought they were going to go for it.
Cole Kruger will kick it away. He runs as the tailback and also the punter and place kicker. He's kind of the all-everything guy for Olpe. And they're going to fake it. Kruger with some room to run has the first down. Pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line. A little bit of trickery there out of the Olpe Eagles before Ethan Eastis, the cornerback, is able to make the stop.
Oh, Olpe says, not so gently into the night will we go. We've still got some fight. We'll try to do some things to kind of disrupt you on special teams, because Olpe's had great success today with special teams. A touchdown, picking up a first down in a critical situation. I don't know if that was a called play. Maybe the punter just said, I see a gap. I think I can make it. I think I'll take it.
1st and 10 Olpe after the fake punt, an 8-yard gain on the 4th down call. So Redeker, again, with 4 wide receivers and 1 man next to him in the backfield, runs the play-action pass, and he's going to keep it. Hit after about a 2-yard pickup.
Are you guys going over here?
Joel Osborne comes up from the linebacker spot to make the tackle.
Well, it was a broken coverage. If he'd have looked up and saw Kruger running kind of a flag route, he would have seen it. He could have gotten off. He had great protection, but then he felt the need to scramble out into space, and then the chase was on, and he did not see that wide open receiver.
Smith Center looking for its 67th consecutive win, which would be an all-time record in the state of Kansas.
That is a few, isn't it, Jay?
Looking for its 5th consecutive state title and 8th overall. Here they lead at 28-7 with 6:05 to go before halftime. Olpe with the ball on a 2nd and 8. Again looking to throw. This time the pass is short hopped. It bounces once in front of Bradley Argebride to split in, who had released out off of the block.
Starting to see Smith Center play a few games, bring in some people in off the edge. That's a great job by the running back for Olpe to pick up the blitzing back. You know, you're going to start seeing these two coaches in a little bit of a chess match. Smith Center's going to do some things to bring pressure. Opie's going to have to counter that pressure by getting it blocked with an extra man, maybe taking an extra man out of the routes.
Olpe typically wants to be a 50-50 team run to pass. Today they've attempted 11 pass plays to just 8 plays on the ground. So they're giving Smith Center a steady diet of pass plays. They'll look to throw again. This time it is complete to Josh Lambert, the fullback. He's going to be a little bit shy of the first down. He needed to pick up 8 yards. He gets to midfield, which gains him about 7, so it'll set up a 4th and 1.
What a perfect call by Coach Schmidt and that offense for Olpe. A little screen delay. The Smith Center brings a backer, puts pressure on the quarterback, the lineman released to the outside, a little drop off to the running back, and boom, you've got 4th and 2. That's a nice pickup.
Redeker 7 of 12 for 81 yards on the day, as Olpe will 4th and 2 from midfield. They have to get to the 48 on the Smith Center side. Handoff up the middle, and he is stopped short. Kruger did not get the first down, needed 2, picked up 1. Once again, Smith Center will take over on downs.
You know, one of the things I always wonder about coaches is you know, you have success doing certain things, and you should go back to doing it. Olpe hadn't had a ton of success trying to get the ball run into the middle. I'd have gone to the outside, done something out on an edge.
Smith Center 28, Olpe 7, 5:47 to go. We'll take a timeout.
What is he doing? Said something about not driving through Texas without getting a shot of a bull.
Guys!
Ooh. Maybe we should help him. First one to get an empty chip?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos, loaded with toppings so there are no empty chips.
Not it. Not it.
He seems angry!
Not it. Not it.
Not it.
Oh, not it.
What is wrong with you? Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos.
Not it.
Smith Center 28, Olpe 7, 5:47 to go before halftime. Let's go down to Trista Hall. Actually, I'm having some technical difficulties with Trista down there on the sideline. Smith Center gets the ball after the turnover on downs at its own 49-yard line with a 21-point advantage. Olpe nearly got the first down, but was hit just a bit short of the line to gain before the timeout. The quarterback, Travis Rempe, will keep it on his own, dives forward toward the 45-yard line, picks up 5 yards on first down before Smith Center, or Olpe is able to come in there and make a tackle. Matt Redeker, the quarterback, able to get in there on the stop along with Lyndon Stevie.
Well, there's a great example of now defending out to the sideline. Ball carrier had to turn the ball back up. By the time you do that, the cavalry has arrived and makes the play. 2nd and 5 is sure better than 2nd and 9.
On 2nd and 5. They'll hand it off to Joe Osborne, who's scored twice today. This time he picks up close to 7 yards, and they'll move the chains once again on the first down.
And now here's the problem now arises. Once you start defending to the sideline, that takes players out from in between the tackles. The defensive end this time popped out to make sure that nothing went wide, but guess what? That means there's going to be a rushing lane inside of the defensive end.
Here we are with 5 minutes to go before halftime. Smith Center already with 239 yards on the ground on just 22 carries. On first down from the Olpe 40. They'll give it again to Osborne, and this time he's wrapped up on the play to the outside. So clearly Olpe has made an adjustment there on that play to the outside. The cornerback, Wade Schmidt, comes up and makes the stop for a loss of 1.
The question is, can Smith Center now take advantage back inside? Can Smith Center now do some things? Will some rushing lanes open up inside the tight ends? If Olpe's going to take away the outside, something now has to open up an inside.
2nd and 11 for the Redmen at the Olpe 42-yard line. The crowd goes silent here as the quarterback gives his count, and Colt Rogers will take it out across the 40. Brought down at the 43. A pickup of close to 5 yards on the play. Couple in there on the tackle for Olpe. Bradley Argabright, the last man to crawl out of the pile.
Now, I hate to tell Olpe their business or how they would coach, but you've got 3rd and about 8. You've got the ball on the far hash mark. Maybe the edge to the bottom where we are might need to be defended. Wouldn't you think, Jay?
That seems to be where Smith Center has had a bulk of its success. The
That's
two
right.
big running plays, the 75-yarder and the 71-yarder, went to the outside, one on a 2nd down call, one on a 3rd down call in a long yardage situation. Here on 3rd and 7. This time they'll go off tackle, and having his feet cut out from underneath him is the running back, Joe Osborne. Getting in there and doing a nice job making the stop is going to be Clint Barnhart, the defensive tackle for Olpe.
Well, we're in 4-down territory. I'm sure Bart is going to go for it. He's confident that this is an offense that can make that. Is there a pass in the future? Maybe he's going to drag a tight end across the middle. Who knows what's going to happen?
Smith Center, who is just 90 miles away from Hayes, here with the geographical advantage over Olpe, who had to make the 220-mile trek here. Olpe actually came over last night. Smith Center made the trip here this morning. Olpe with the advantage here on the scoreboard as well, 28-7 with 2:43 before halftime, and the Redmen will call timeout. Travis Rempe, the quarterback, didn't like what he saw, and he takes a timeout.
Well, you know, one of the things that I really appreciate about Olpe is they traveled pretty well. You know, they've come pretty close to filling up about half the other side. Olpe's about a town of 500 to 600. I've counted all the people on that side, Jay. There are 3 people that did in Olpe that are still there. 3 people from Olpe did not make the trip over. Everybody else is in the stands over there.
Lots of folks here in the stands today. The home sideline here for Smith Center nearly full. The visiting sideline better than half full. Olpe showing very well. Both teams traveling very well. There's been some push here in the last few years to have a common site for the state football championship games, like play them all in Lawrence at KU, play them all in Manhattan at K-State. Seeing this atmosphere here today, I'd have to say that'd be a bad move.
I would too, and I'll tell you what, you and I both watched some of that Missouri championship game last night on cable. We watched that being played in the Dome in St. Louis, a St. Louis team and a Kansas City team. And I'll tell you what, it is not fun seeing in the background thousands and thousands and thousands of empty seats. There's just something about high school football that needs to be played in an atmosphere just like here at Lewis Field.
So Smith Center will go for it here on 4th and 6 at the Olpe 36-yard line with a 28-7 lead and 2 minutes and 42 seconds before halftime. Olpe needing a stop here critically to give itself a chance to come back later in the ballgame. They're going to throw once again. Man open once again, and this time it is intercepted by Olpe. Cole Kruger picks it off back there in the secondary, his second pick of the year, and Olpe comes up big when they need a stop.
Nice pick, Kruger, but knocked the ball down. Do you realize that when you caught the ball and made the interception and you lost 10 yards on the play, knocked the ball to the ground, and it comes back first down going the other way?
But nonetheless, the Eagles are able to force the turnover. And that is the 18th interception of the season by the Olpe defense, a pretty good number for against in a smaller classification of football where there's not a lot of passing.
But that means a lot to this Olpe football team. To get a stop in this point, down by 3 touchdowns, they still feel like going into half they're going to be in this football game.
Going to stack them inside, go with the I formation in the backfield, just 2 wide receivers split out wide. Handoff goes to Kruger. Tries to get some room to the outside, picks up about 7 yards. A nice gainer on first down for Olpe before the tackle is able to be made by Dylan Corbett, the defensive end for Smith Center.
Yeah, going out to the edge, giving Smith Center a little bit of their own medicine. A nice burst of speed by Kruger. I didn't realize he had that little burst in him. That's a nice little football player right there.
Kruger's played pretty well today. He's been nursing an ankle sprain he suffered a couple of weeks ago in the playoffs, but it's not really showing all that much today. 2:03 to go, first half. Smith Center 28, Olpe 7. Olpe with the ball on a 2nd and 3, and they'll hand it off. Boy, it nearly looked like Josh Lambert would have been tackled there, but he kept his feet moving very nicely, and he's going to be very close to the first down.
They're in a football coach in America that doesn't say move your feet, never stop your feet. There's a perfect example of why you don't stop your feet. Hitting the backfield for a 1 yard gain, for a 1 yard loss, keeps moving his feet and ends up gaining 3 or 4 yards. Now instead of 3rd and 4, now you have 3rd about a half a yard.
He was ruled just shy of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and inches here for Olpe, needing to get a first down as we approach halftime. And the quarterback's going to keep it himself and fall forward to pick up the first down.
Quarterback came up to the line, looked at the alignment of Smith Center and said, I've got an A-side gap that's uncovered. I can pick up a half a yard here, and he just slides through that gap. Really heads-up play by the quarterback.
Coming up at halftime, we will hear from Trista Hall on the sideline with Coach Chris Schmidt of the Olpe Eagles. We'll get his thoughts on what his team needs to do as they go into the break. But his team right now has some unfinished business with 1:10 before halftime. They go with the play action. They look to throw over the middle, and it's just out of reach of Brad Argabright, the junior wide receiver, who's the leading receiver on the team. He has the top number of receiving yards and the top number of receiving touchdowns for Olpe, and he is unable to get his hands on it. It falls incomplete.
Well, that was an open receiver. That really wasn't the best pass that's been thrown today by Olpe, but it's still an indication that this team still wants to play. They still want to compete. If they could get a touchdown here and go into halftime just being down 2 touchdowns, they'll feel like they're back in this football game.
2nd and 10, Olpe. They'll go with the pro formation, pro set, I in the backfield. And the toss play will go to the outside, and Kruger's not able to get a whole lot. Paul, in the 2-minute offense, is that a good play to go on the toss there with 1 minute to go?
Well, you've got less than 1 minute to go. I'm not so sure. It looked like to me that play was designed to get outside. If nothing else, it would go out of bounds and stop the clock. But it doesn't look like Olpe's in any big hurry to try to get they're going to call timeout. Just as I was about to say, it doesn't look like there's any urgency in what they're wanting to do with the offensive possession that they have. But Olpe's going to do some things that that you would think would move the ball a little quicker down the field, throwing some fades, throwing some posts, doing something to get the football downfield.
Actually, it was not a called team timeout. It was a timeout for equipment. One of the defensive linemen for Smith Center is having a helmet issue. They've got it taken care of. Now the clock continues to roll. 36 seconds to go. Out of the shotgun, Redeker steps up in the pocket, has time, tip, and then caught by Kruger. And down to the 45 in the Smith Center end of the field, and Olpe will now take a timeout. 27.9 seconds to go. Smith Center 28, Olpe 7. Now the Eagles take a timeout and will draw up another play.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about doing some vertical things with your football team. Throw the football. The worst that can happen is when you've got 20, 30 seconds left in a half or in a football game is the ball falls incomplete and the clock stops. You can then re-huddle, you can then call another play, and off you go. This is not a time to run the football. This isn't even a time to try to get the ball out on the edge with a toss sweep, because there is no assurances that you can get the ball out and get it out of bounds for a timeout. This is a situation. Get good protection from your offensive line. Leave a back end to protect if you have to. Get some vertical receivers, get them downfield and throw the ball, and throw some jump balls and see what happens. Who knows what could happen? It'd be great for Olpe if they could get a touchdown going into this half.
This is just the second appearance in the state championship game in school history for Olpe. The last was in 1976, 32 years ago. They lost to Ashland 24-0. A lot of parallels between that year and this year. That year, Olpe beat Pittsburgh Colgan in the state semifinals, as they did this year.
76, I remember it well. I think I had a leisure suit and I was hitting all the discos. I was having a ball in 1976.
Olpe lost in the state championship game to Ashland 24-0. That game was played on its home field in Olpe, and it was the 1A title game. Here in the 2-1A championship game, they trail Smith Center 28-7, but they're starting to move the ball just a little bit here as we approach halftime. Redeker to throw on first down, has to scramble. First down in the pocket towards the sideline. He's not able to get out of bounds. The clock continues to roll. 18 seconds to go, and Olpe will once again call a timeout. Forced out of bounds by Smith Center was Trevor Rempe, pushing the quarterback Redeker out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you, Smith Center has really adjusted to this passing game, and instead of trying to defend and drop people and kick people into coverage, they've made the decision to try to bring pressure, try to make the quarterback for Olpe do things that he doesn't want to do, step out of the pocket, which is exactly what happened here. He felt the pressure, he stepped up, saw he had no open receivers, and tried to get to the sideline.
In last week's semifinal win for Olpe over Pittsburgh Colgan, they didn't do a very good job rushing the ball in the first half, so they looked for ways in the passing game to open it up. That seems to be the same case here today. Olpe with just 48 yards on the ground, but 102 through the air, so they're able to make some sort of headway passing the ball, but Paul, so far it's not quite been enough.
Well, it's very important for Olpe to, figure out something and get the ball moving on the ground. I mean, even though Olpe is a football team that likes to set up the run with the pass, you've got to have more success. You've got to make the corners and the safeties respect your receivers. The receivers have to do a good job of getting downfield and making blocks. Receivers for Olpe have to do a great job of taking a 5-yard out and turning it into a 15 or a 20-yard run, making yards after the catch. Olpe's got some things they can do. I really think, though, that they are still in this ball game, even if they don't get a touchdown on this possession. Going into halftime, 3 touchdowns down, I still think Olpe can still be in this football game. 2nd
and 7 from the 44. With 17 seconds to go, Redeker pumps once, looks to throw, looking for Argabright, and it overthrows out of bounds, and it's incomplete.
Well, Smith Center has decided we are going to pressure the quarterback. They brought 6 people that time, 4 down linemen, I believe a safety and a linebacker. Maybe they brought both linebackers. I didn't catch that. But Smith Center has made a decision. If you're going to throw the football, we're going to try to go hit your quarterback. We're going to put pressure on him. We're going to try to make him make a bad decision, throw into a coverage he doesn't recognize. We're going to make the quarterback make a mistake with rush and not try to defend in the backfield and try to defend receivers.
3rd and 8 upcoming for the Olpe Eagles at the 43-yard line in the Smith Center end of the field. We've got an opportunity here with 2 wide receivers split to the far side. Redeker, a little bit of pressure, flushed out of the pocket. He's going to keep it, and and it gains about 3 yards to the 40-yard line. 3 seconds on the clock, and Olpe will burn his final timeout to get one more crack at the end zone here before halftime.
Gosh, that's just deja vu. That's just practically the same pressure, the same result, the quarterback scrambling. Now, if there was a little more time left in the half, you know, Olpe could do some things like throw some outs and do some things, throw some shallow crossers and replace a receiver where the linebacker's coming from. But right now, I mean, you know, with 3 seconds left in the half, you know, Olpe's going to drop back. They're going to try to throw something into the end zone and hope for the best.
Smith Center looking for its 67th consecutive win, which would give it a Kansas State record all-time for wins in a row. It's looking for its 8th overall state championship under head coach Roger Barta in his 31st season. Roger Barta has won 83% of his games in 31 years. That is a phenomenal number. He's 287 and 58 all-time as the head coach at Smith Center.
Well, that kind of winning percentage and the fact that he's knocking on 300 wins, it's going to be one of just a handful of coaches that have 300 wins. That's almost a certain lock to get a guy like Roger Barta into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame and be recognized as one of the great all-time coaches of all time in the state of Kansas at the high school level.
Smith Center's winning streak is the 3rd longest active streak in the nation. A team out of Mississippi and a team out of Tennessee, the only one's better. 3 seconds to go. Rediker to throw here on the last play of the first half. He's going to put it up over the middle. It's complete to Argabright, but it doesn't look like he's going to have a whole lot of room to run. Tackle made by Joel Osborne, and that will be the end of the first half. Smith Center 28-7 lead over Olpe as we go into halftime. A dominating performance in the first 24 minutes of play. Let's go downstairs to Trista Hall. She's standing by with Olpe head coach Chris Schmidt.
Coach, you have 5 minutes left, and you decide to spread out your defense a little bit, which ultimately starts shutting down Joe Osborne. What was behind your decision-making in that?
Well, they've just been hurting us on the outside, you know, and assignment sound, and we're not doing that very well. We're getting, you know, our ends are supposed to have the quarterback, and that's not happening, so we've had to things up and widen it out a little bit. Hopefully we can continue to stop. We got to do a better job on the outside.
An interception just 2 minutes before the half, it kind of gives you some momentum. How are the guys feeling right now?
Well, you know, we've not been in this position. You know, they're going to respond. We're not going to quit. These kids are going to fight hard, and we'll talk at halftime here and try to make some adjustments. You know, got to give Smith Center credit. They did what they need to do, and we haven't done it. So we'll get better in the second half.
Great. Good luck in the second. Jay, let's go back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Trista. 28-7, Smith Center leads it at halftime over Olpe. We'll take a timeout. The halftime show when we come back. You're watching the 2-1A state championship football game.
Toy Boy is zooming into town with his velvet bag full of Christmas gifts.
Here he is now. What are some of the gifts we're giving away, Toy Boy?
Gift certificates from great stores here in Wichita, a men's watch, earrings, and a 1-carat diamond ring from Mike Seltzer Jewelers.
Go to these fine stores to register for Toy Boy's velvet bag surprises.
Register at Mike Seltzer Jewelers and Bookaholic.
Toy Boy's velvet bag surprises.
Sometimes, even good girls and boys are left off Santa's list. With all the blessings and bounty of Christmas, there still doesn't seem to be enough to go around. This year, make a place on your list and in your heart for a child you don't even know. Donate a new unwrapped toy to the Marine Corps Reserve, Toys for Tots.
Drop off unwrapped toys at McDonald's in Andover and Sedgwick County.
They're not even up there, guys.
Turn it up! You're doing great, girl.
Do we know where the talent went? Do we know where the talent went, guys?
What's up, guys?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
I can.
Can you get me? I can barely hear you.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Keniston, and we offer dentistry for your entire family here in McPherson and in Hillsborough to better serve you.
I would highly recommend going to Hillsborough Dentistry. We have been over to McPherson Dentistry as well, and both places are very accommodating for families with young children. They try to go out of their way to make it a very pleasant experience for all the members of our family.
McPherson Dental Care, providing healthy smiles with a gentle touch.
We are at halftime. Smith Center 28, Olpe 7. Let's take a look at some of the numbers in the first half. Smith Center 243 yards on the ground on 25 carries. Compare that to Olpe, just 51 yards on the ground. 111 yards passing for Olpe. That's the only way they've really been able to make any headway is through passing the football. Smith Center, though, did pass the ball on one occasion. They tried two passes. One of them was intercepted. The other went for a 53-yard touchdown pass to Chris Lehman. So a lot of different things we've seen in today's ball game. We expected Smith Center to run the ball a lot. We did not expect to see that passing play. And that really was the difference in the first half that opened up the ball game out of Smith Center. Olpe, on the other hand, early in the first quarter, able to do a nice job of limiting what Smith Center was able to do offensively. With the exception of two plays in the first quarter, Olpe really clamped down on the Smith Center offense. Joe Osborne, a 75-yard touchdown run on a second down call on the first possession of the game out of Smith Center. That was a lapse in the defense for Olpe. 71-yard touchdown run late in the first quarter by Joe Osborne. Those two plays really were very key in the ball game, and we'll bring in Trista Hall here. Trista, your observations from during the first half. You were over there on the Olpe sideline for a lot of times, and you noticed that a lot of times the Olpe defenders had their heads hung.
Dude, did you...
We're having some technical difficulties apparently with Trista Hall's microphone down on the sideline, but Olpe defensively a couple of times in the half really had an opportunity, Paul, to put the clamps on Smith Center. They were just not able to do it.
Well, they defended what they had to do. They knew they had to defend in between the tight ends. That was where they knew they had to stop Smith Center if they wanted to have a chance of winning this football game. But in the process of bringing people and making sure those gaps were filled, they allowed to be from the tight end out to the sideline to become vulnerable. And when that happened, Smith Center figured out pretty quick that there's nobody out there. The safeties were checking down, the corners were checking down, the linebackers were filling in. And so anything, all the plays, the running plays that Smith Center wanted to run to the outside, there was nobody out there to defend. We'll have to see at halftime what the Olpe coaches decide to do about how do we fend the outside edge of the formation of Smith Center.
The Kansas State High School Activities Association has been serving Kansas youth since 1910 with programs in athletics, academics, the fine arts, and leadership development. For more information, visit kshsaa.org. A score from the 3A championship game in Hutchinson late in the first half, Silver Lake 7, Conway Springs 6, so a dogfight at Gowan Stadium in Hutchinson. We're going to take a timeout. We'll have more of the halftime show when we come back.
What is he doing? Said something about not driving through Texas without getting a shot of a bull.
Guys!
Ooh. Maybe we should help him. First one to get an empty chip?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos, loaded with toppings so there are no empty chips.
Not it. Not it.
He seems angry!
Not it. Not it. Not it. Oh, not it.
What is wrong with you?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos.
Not it.
Do you have a hard time keeping up with all the latest fashions? Could you use a little help in the style department? Well, you need Fashion 411. Hey guys, Michelle and Katie here with the crew. Go to kansascw.com and click on Fashion 411 for tips on what to wear, fun hairstyles you can do yourself, makeup tips, and let's not forget shoes and purses. We've got all the latest trends to help you look your best. So visit the Fashion 411 and have fun being beautiful.
We are at halftime at Lewis Field Stadium in Hays, Kansas. The 2-1A state football championship game between Smith Center and Olpe. The Redmen of Smith Center with a 28-7 lead over the Eagles from Olpe. We mentioned before the break, we're talking a little bit about the Kansas State High School Activities Association. They've been around since 1910, and they've done a lot for a lot of kids over the past 90-plus years here in the state of Kansas. So let's take a moment. Let's visit with Gary Musselman, the Executive Director of the KSHSAA. It's the first time this has been a venture, a broadcast like this of the state football championship games. And if you'd like to see a rebroadcast of this game, you can go to catchitkansas.com for the pay-per-view link to Grand Stadium TV. You can go on there. You can relive all the wonderful moments and memories of this game, as well as the 6A game that will immediately follow this broadcast here from Topeka.
Well, you know, with the association that runs all these sporting activities, you know, it's more than just an association that works with athletes and sports. You know, it's so meaningful in all students' lives, in band and in choir and in drama and in theater. The Kansas State High School Activity Association means so much to a lot of kids. It's more than just sports, though, Jay.
Our halftime score, Smith Center 28, Olpe 7. And Paul, let's take a look at some more of these numbers. Rushing the ball, Olpe's only been able to carry the ball for 17 yards. They've only attempted 4 rushing plays, or excuse me, that was in the first quarter. They've attempted in today's ball game, they've only attempted 15 plays for 51 yards. That's not a whole lot for a team that wants a 50-50 split.
Well, it's not, but it was obvious in the first quarter, Olpe wanted to take advantage of a pretty stiff wind at their back. They wanted to get the ball into the air, and there is part of the reason why you see that disparity within the percentages of rushing the ball and throwing the ball.
We'll take a timeout. The second half kickoff when we come back. Olpe trails 28-7 as we get set for the third quarter.
I'm Dr. Babcock with McPherson Dental Care. Our team provides a variety of services for your entire family. Whether you're 2 or 102, total family care is what you can expect every time you visit our office.
I would highly recommend McPherson Dental Care to other families. They really care about families. They are good with scheduling around school, and they have several highly trained staff where we can have 3 children in the hygienist chair at one time. That way we're not spending the whole day at the dentist's office.
McPherson Dental Care.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Coach, the defense starts to make some changes. They widen up on you, which ultimately Washburn. Are you nervous that maybe they're going to continue this throughout the second half and you guys won't get your running game going?
Well, they're going to make adjustments. They have to adjust to their adjustments right now, but they're well coached. They're going to do some great things, you know, and our kids got to execute and keep coming off the ball on the line of scrimmage.
There was a big momentum shift at the end of the second quarter. I talked to Coach Schmidt about it, and he was pretty excited. How do you feel about when they got the momentum back in the ball game?
Well, you know, it's the switch of momentum during the course of the game, and, you know, I think this next series or two is going to be real critical.
Okay, good luck in the second half, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's go back up to the booth, Jay.
All right, Smith Center 28, Olpe 7. As we get set to start the second half. And Paul, if you're the coaching staff for Olpe at halftime, what adjustments do you make to try to allow your team to crawl back from this 21-point deficit?
Well, before I make any adjustment, I tell these kids, I said, you're still in this ball game. We could still win this ball game. I make sure that my kids are in a mental state of mind that says, you guys can get back into this game. We can still win it. That's the first thing I do. The second thing I do is I figure out how do we stop Smith Center from running the ball wide. I look at my ends and I say, guys, you've got to make sure you don't get hooked. You don't get reached. You've got to make sure that you can defend all the way to the sideline. Those are the 2 major adjustments that you do. Now, you also look at pass protection. Smith Center has started to figure out that they need to bring some people, and you've got to figure out a way to make sure the quarterback has time to throw the football. Those are the 3 things you do.
We'll see if Olpe can make those adjustments when we get set to start the third quarter. We'll take a timeout. The kickoff for the second half when we come back.
What a great day. You know, I think I love Raisin Bran Crunch more, if that's even possible.
Everyone's so nice here. See how happy they were when we were leaving?
Yeah, I did.
Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy.
Something in my eye.
Raisins, flakes, and honey oat clusters. They're quite a trio.
Raisin Bran Crunch!
From Kellogg. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the land, smart Santas came ready, with love rubbing hand.
Ooh, Santa. Love rub?
Well, we've both been really good.
Love Rub, the safe, all-natural stimulant. Give the gift of pure pleasure this holiday. Get online now or call to get your first tube for $19.99 and your second for half price, plus an exciting free gift.
And to all, a good night.
What is he doing? Said something about not driving through Texas without getting a shot of a bull.
Guys!
Ooh. Maybe we should help him. First one to get an empty chip?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos, loaded with toppings so there are no empty chips.
Not it. Not it.
He seems angry!
Not it. Not it. Not it. Oh, not it.
What is wrong with you?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos.
Not it.
I never thought my life would turn out like this.
It's done, and I'm sorry. The stars never aligned for me.
What do we have, Chuck?
Tonight, so shut up and dance with me. Dance.
It's been an accident.
An unmissable gossip girl. Monday at 7 on the Kansas CW.
28-7, Smith Center leading Olpe here in the Class 2-1A football state championship game from Lewis Field Stadium on the campus of Fort Hays State University in Hays, Kansas. And the captains are meeting with the officials. Olpe will have the ball to start the third quarter. Smith Center won the opening coin toss, took the ball, so Olpe has a second half option and will have the ball to start.
You know, it's interesting. Olpe's made a decision. They want that possession. That's an extra possession. If they thought that they could pin Smith Center back, they would take the win, kick off, pin them down. But the possessions and the amount of possessions left in the second half, they're running out of those. They need the possession, which is why they said, we'll receive. Now Smith Center kicks into the wind.
It's been a pretty stiff breeze out of the north all afternoon, and that will definitely play a factor in Olpe's opportunity to make a comeback here from a 21-point deficit as we get set to start the third quarter.
Yeah, and as they receive the football, it's very important because they're going to kick the ball off. It may go through the end zone, the ball out onto the 20. You've got to get some first downs. You've got to move the ball. You certainly don't want to go 3 and out in a situation with a win like this because that gives the ball in great field possession back to Smith Center. Olpe's got to get some first downs on this first possession and get some field position.
Trenton Terrell will kick it away for Smith Center to start the third quarter. Brad Argabright and Cole Kruger back deep to return the kickoff, and it's going to go to Kruger at the 16. Has a little bit of room up the middle. A nice return out to the 34-yard line, 18 yards on the kickoff return. So pretty good starting field position for Olpe as we get set to go here in the third quarter. And again, Paul, we talked about the adjustments they need to make defensively. What does Olpe need to do offensively to crawl back into it?
Well, they've got to be patient. They can't get in a big hurry. They're now facing a wind that's pretty significant, probably 20, 30 miles an hour straight into this wind. They've got to figure out a way to run the football. They've got to do some things on the ground and once again let the running game set up the passing game. In the first half, it was just the opposite of that.
In the first half, Olpe was able to only rush the ball for 51 yards. Here they'll run out of a running formation with the I in the backfield, and they'll split a wide receiver out to each side. Rediker will run the toss to Kruger around the outside, and he'll have a little bit of space here on first down. Dips his shoulder and gets pushed out of bounds. A nice pickup there on first down. It'll be close to a gain of 5 yards on the play, being knocked out of bounds there by Joe Osborne.
Nice job by the offensive tackle for Olpe to get the end man on the line for Smith Center reached. He got him hooked. It allowed the running back to get the space to the edge and get the ball turned upfield. That's a nice gain of 6 yards.
2nd and 4 upcoming for Olpe after the nice gainer right out of halftime. So from the 40-yard line, again, they'll go with a tight formation. They'll bring in 2 split ends and 2 wide receivers out wide. They'll run a little bit of a counter play. Coming back the other way, this is Josh Lambert, the halfback. Actually, it's going to go to Lyndon Stevie, the backup halfback, and he's able to pick up another 3 yards. They'll be very, very near the first down, and it'll be 3rd and 1.
That's a smart play. Coach Schmidt has called a play that makes the linebackers for Smith Center say, hey, we just can't flow straight to the football. That's a little misdirection. You fake one way, give the ball back the other way, and it makes the linebackers hesitate the next time they see that kind of action in the backfield.
Olpe is 2 of 7 on 3rd downs today. Here looking to get one converted on a 3rd and short situation. They give it to Kruger, and he pushes his way across the 45 and will move the chains with the first down. In there on the stop for the Smith Center Redmen will be Chris Lehman.
Well, there's another good job. Earlier, Jay, you talked about feet moving. Churn the feet. Feet that keep moving. Even when they're stopped, you don't stop your feet. That was a great job by Kruger of picking up the first down with just sheer grit and feet still churning.
Kruger today now 75 yards on the ground. Check that, 30 yards rushing, 75 yards receiving out of the top running back for the Olpe Eagles. They'll go with a 4 wide receiver spread here, 3 to the near side on first down. Again, they'll go to Stevie on the misdirection, and he buries his way across the midfield line to the 49 on the Smith Center side of the field. 6-yard pickup, a nice first down gainer for Olpe.
Well, Olpe's starting to have a little confidence. That time they went with 4 wide receivers. Every other snap up to this point in this third quarter has been a 2-back formation of some sort. So it's nice to see Olpe saying, you know, we're having success to 2-back. Let's try some spread. But as they come back, they line up in another 2-back formation.
Smith Center 28, Olpe 7, 10:15 to go in the third quarter. Penalty marker flies before the second down call, and this play is going to be whistled dead. And it's going to be false start against Olpe. So that'll really negate a nice first down play, and instead of a 2nd and 4, it'll now be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, you're down 3 touchdowns. I'll tell you what, 2nd and 4 is a whole lot better than 2nd and 9. You can't let penalties like this kill you in a championship game against a high caliber opponent like Smith Center. Penalties will literally take you out of this ball game if you let them.
So not a good penalty there for Olpe. But that is the first foul of the game against the Eagles. 2 penalties total in the game, 1 on each side. So it's been a pretty clean game to this point. But that one was just horrible timing for the Eagles. Kruger goes into motion on 2nd and 9. They'll hand it off up the middle. And a very nice gain. Falling forward for a pickup of 8 yards is Josh Lambert. He gets all the way to the 47-yard line, and where it'll set up a 3rd and 2.
Well, this is a big conversion. This is a big 2 yards to pick up. This is the difference of kicking once again into the wind. Although field position is now improved for Olpe, they need to pick up this first down, keep this drive going, keep the Smith Center defense on the field.
That was just the 2nd carry of the day for Lambert, but it was a big one as he picked up 8 yards on the play, setting up this 3rd and 2 for Olpe. They need to get to the 45. The quarterback, Redeker, will keep it, and he's going to be stopped a yard shy of the first down. A handful of tacklers in there for Smith Center. Logan Tuxor, the middle linebacker, in there to make the primary hit.
But this is a situation Coach Smith's got to look at this football team and say, fellas, we need to pick up this yard, this 1 yard. We need a first down. We're not going to kick it. Let's go for it. I got confidence in you. I got confidence in you, offensive linemen. Let's get some movement. Let's pick up this first down and keep this drive going.
Down 21 points, you have to be able to pick up a yard when you need it. If you can't, you're probably not in a position to win a football game. Right now, Olpe must gain this yard on 4th down. They're 2 of 4 today so far on 4th down, looking to get above the 50% mark here on this call. They'll give it to Lambert, and boy, he's going to be close.
He didn't get it.
I don't think he got it. He's going to be ruled a little bit short of the 45-yard line, which will give the ball over on downs once again to Smith Center.
Well, they will probably measure this. I would imagine this, they will call the chains out and take a look at it. Well, maybe they won't. They won't do it.
They're going to go turnover on down. Smith Center will get the ball. We'll take a timeout. 8:20 to go in the third quarter. Smith Center 28, Olpe 7.
What is he doing? Said something about not driving through Texas without getting a shot of a bull.
Guys!
Ooh. Maybe we should help him. First one to get an empty chip?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos, loaded with toppings so there are no empty chips.
Not it. Not it.
He seems angry!
Not it. Not it. Not it. Oh, not it.
What is wrong with you?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos.
Not it.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Smith Center 28, Olpe 7 as we get set to resume play. Let's go downstairs to Trista Hall.
Guys, you talk a lot about the wind earlier in the game and how it's going to affect how the guys play, but something I've noticed is how the wind is affecting the coaching staff. If you didn't talking to Coach Smith at halftime, he is wearing shorts. Everyone in the stands are bundled in gloves and hats and scarves. big coat and scarves and a turtleneck. Coach Smith is wearing shorts, and I'm told it's because all of superstition. He feels like when he wears those shorts, his team plays better, and he's done it every game for the past 2 years when he's been a head coach at this school.
On first down, Rogers doesn't get a whole lot up the middle, setting up a 2nd and 9 for Smith Center with 7:55 to go in the third quarter. And this time, Joe Osmond's able to get something going off tackle, picks up 12 yards on the play before Josh Klumpy is able to make the stop.
Well, that's just a matter of Smith Center's offensive line, just coming off the ball. That's just smash mouth football. Getting off the ball, getting on a helmet, and getting pushed. That's a great job by the offensive line of Smith Center.
And we talked about it, Paul, earlier in the week when we were taking a look at Smith Center. They're not particularly big across the offensive line, but they are so sound in the fundamentals of the game that's why they're so efficient across the offensive line. On first down, they'll go up the middle to Trevor Rempe, the senior brother of the quarterback, Travis Rempe, and he falls forward to the 40-yard line, picking up 3.
Well, once again, we know what's coming. We know the formation. We haven't seen, other than the pass to a tight end, we've seen the same plays over and over. It's not like it's a surprise. Olpe knows what's coming. It's coming in one or two places, and it's coming out of the same formation. They just have to figure out how to stop it.
Smith Center averaging 10.5 yards per snap here this afternoon. Here they'll go again to Rempe up the middle, and he picks up about 4 more yards, setting up a 3rd and 3.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the course of this game, even though they're down only 3 touchdowns, it's still a doable deal. But 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, this is a big 3rd down. Olpe needs a stop here. They need to get the football back in the hands of their offense on this series.
6:35 to go, clock moving. Smith Center with a 28-7 lead, driving at the 35 in the Olpe end of the field. Handoff goes to Colt Rogers around the outside, and ball comes loose.
The ball is loose.
He was nearly brought down. The ball comes out, and it's a turnover. Olpe forces a turnover. The fumble in there by Colt Rogers, the 2nd turnover of the day by Smith Center, and Olpe will take it at its own 35.
Let's see if Olpe can take this ball and do something with this turnover. Smith Center was driving the football. They were having some success. Granted, they were grinding it out, not in big chunks, but wearing down the defense at that point. Let's see if Olpe can take this ball, this turnover, and make something out of it. A turnover turned into points is so big for Olpe at this point.
And oftentimes when a team is trailing with his backs against the wall, it just takes one play to make the difference in the game. Let's see if Olpe is able to make the play. They'll go with 2 wide receivers split to the far side on first down, and it's going to be a false start. Another just damaging penalty for the Olpe offense at a really, really bad time.
Well, you know something, and we're still 6 minutes left into the third quarter. But when you go from 1st and 10, I know the average person thinks it's only 5 yards, but to go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 15, coaches don't practice 1st and 15. What do you call when it's 1st and 15? 1st and 15 is so rare, but that's why you can't do that to your team. That's like shooting yourself in the foot.
But that's what they have done here, setting up a 1st and 15 from the 30-yard line. They'll go with the same formation, 2 wide receivers split wide. One kind of flanked off to the right side as well, so we'll call it trips to the right here on 1st and 15, and Redeker looks to throw, and he badly underthrows that one, incomplete. He was looking over there on the far side for Josh Klumpy, and he just couldn't find him.
Well, and one of the things that Smith Center has adjusted to, they adjusted to it, about 2/3 of the way through the second quarter, was starting to get more pressure. They're bringing somebody nearly every passing down. Every time he drops back, a linebacker's coming, somebody's coming, and they're able to put pressure on the quarterback. They're not necessarily sacking him, but they're getting pressure. The quarterback is feeling pressure and feeling the need to rush the football.
The quarterback, Redeker, who's just a junior, goes out of the shotgun here with a 4-wide out look on 2nd and 15. This time he will complete a pass out there to Klumpy near the 40-yard line. He keeps his feet moving, battles his way forward, picks up close to 10 yards on the play before he's brought down by Joe Osborne. Also in there on the stop is Chris Lehman.
Well, as they battle for this first down, we started 1st and 15. You now are 3rd and 5. You pick this up because there's still such a brisk wind coming out of the north. I'll tell you, Olpe does not want to punt the football into this wind. This wind will knock down a lot of footballs and give Smith Center good field position.
Olpe 3 of 9 on 3rd downs this afternoon. will go with a 4 wide receiver look once again with the quarterback Redeker out of the shotgun. Looks over the middle, pass is complete. It'll go for a first down to Lyndon Stevie. Great run after the catch, recovers nicely, picks up another 4 yards on the play. Great job to hold his feet and move forward down the field.
Yes, but I'll tell you the key to that play was the running back for Olpe, who saw the blitz coming from the outside edge and stepped over about 2 or 3 yards to pick up that blitz off the edge. That was a great job of picking up protection. And without that protection, that would have been a sack, not a 10 or 15-yard completion.
Again, the Kansas State High School Activities Association would like to thank Smith Center High School for producing this broadcast, the 2-1A football championship game. And Smith Center with the advantage here, 28-7 over Olpe. On first down, Redeker once again throws and he hits Clumpy out on the flat. Again, a nice job to keep his feet ready. Clumpy does a nice job gaining that first down, and again, keeping your feet moving yards after the catch.
That's right. We talked about that. Clumpy did not stop his feet. He turned around, caught the ball immediately, looked back to the inside. Nothing coming, turned back around to the outside. Kept his feet moving. And I'll tell you what, on a 5-yard out, how important is it to pick up another 10 or 15 yards off of the pass? It's very big. And that's now we've got the ball on the 37-yard line going in. That's a big set of big set of downs that we just completed.
14 yards on the pass play to Clumpy. Sets up a 1st and 10 at the 38. This time they'll run the quarterback draw. He runs the fake, keeps it himself, and goes for 7 yards on first down. A very nice offensive call there after a couple of pass plays out of the Olpe offensive coaching staff. In there on the stop for Smith Center was Matt Atwood.
Well, again, misdirection. Fake to the back on a little cross buck action with the quarterback. The linebackers for Smith Center are stepping to that back, stepping to the fake. The quarterback pulls the ball and goes to the other side of the line, running to an area where the linebackers just vacated.
This is the deepest Olpe's offense has been in Smith Center territory since midway through the first quarter. Redeker again looking to throw, connects with Argabright, shakes a tackler, gets down to around the 20, dragged down from behind at the 21-yard line by Chris Lehman once again, but another first down for Olpe, and they're starting to show some signs of life offensively.
Yeah, this is a team that says, hey, we still want to play in this game. You got to take your hat off to the coaching staff at Olpe for keeping these kids into this ball game. Smith Center is a team that, quite frankly, it would easy to let down with playing against these guys. They're relentless, but Olpe's doing a good job of staying focused, staying in this football game.
3:54 to go in the third quarter. Smith Center 28, Olpe 7, but the Eagles are driving. Once again, they'll go with a 4 wide receiver look here on first down at the Smith Center 22. Again, the error has been where Smith Center has made its, or Olpe has made its way, but this one is going to be picked off. Again, Ethan Eastus with the interception at the goal line. And Smith Center once again defensively comes up with the huge turnover.
Well, that's just a big play. That takes the sails out, the wind out of your sails a little bit. But listen, Olpe's got to make sure that they don't let that hurt them too bad. Things like that are going to happen in the course of a football game. You've just proved to yourself you can move the length of the field. You move the ball from about the 20 to about the 30. You move a long way. You do things. You run the football. You pass the football. You know you can play with Smith Center.
We're going to take a timeout after the interception by Ethan Eastus. Smith Center 28, Olpe 7.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
And there's new toys, which to remind you only 25 more jumping days until Christmas. Whoa, 18 weeks until Christmas. Whoa.
Imagine that Toys, your local toy store. Just bring in a list of the kids you're shopping for, and they will find something for everyone.
Sean and Brent with Satellite Pros here. A lot of people ask us what we do with their old TVs when we haul them off for them.
Satellite Pros offers free delivery, setup, and disposal of your old TV.
Man, we gotta find something else to do with these TVs. Hey, got another one.
Smith Center 28, Olpe 7, 3:42 to go in the first quarter. Ethan Eastis with his second interception of the game right at the goal line ended a nice drive by the Olpe offense and really takes the wind out of their sails once again. Every time Olpe's been driving, Smith Center's always had an answer. Here on first down, the handoff will go up the middle to Joel Osborne, and he will carry it for a short gain, pickup of about 3 yards. Let's go downstairs to Trista Hall.
Well, guys, I just got the chance to talk to a couple of the guys who were on the very first winning Smith Center team. They said a lot of the stuff that they've been watching for the past 4 years, and especially this year, is the exact same stuff that they ran when they were seniors in high school. They told me that this team was a little bit less disciplined than they were, but they've executed the plays, the running game, much better than they did. How about that, Jay?
That's pretty good stuff. Smith Center looking for his 5th straight state championship. Those guys would have been seniors 4 years ago when the Redmen won for the first time during this incredible run. Here on 2nd and 7, they'll go to Joe Osborne, and he fights his way forward. He worked awfully hard to just pick up 1 yard.
Well, that's a lot of work, but it brings up 3rd and long. Smith Center, we've talked about this before. Smith Center does not like to be in these situations. They want 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. 3rd and 7 is a long way for a running offense, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to get the ball on the edge. That would not be a surprise at all.
Smith Center has now gone into the mode. They're going to run the play clock all the way down under 10 seconds before they snap the ball. That's why you see such a long count at the line. The quarterback, Rempe, will keep it around the outside. He's got some room to run. His biggest gainer of the day. He's going to be brought down at the 44-yard line after a pickup of 21 yards on the rush to the outside. A nice job there by the quarterback to call his own number.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was a surprise to anybody where the ball went. The ball was not going to go inside the tight ends. The ball was going to get to the outside somehow. Either the quarterback was going to keep it, the running back was going to keep it, and bounce it to the outside. This play just so happened to be the quarterback kept the football.
Rempe now on the day. That was his 4th carry for 52 yards on the day, easily his longest rush of the afternoon. Sets up another first down for Smith Center, who's now going into the mode here already in the 3rd quarter of running down the clock and keeping the Olpe offense off the field. On first down, the ball's fumbled. Whoa. But it looked like Rempe was able to fall on it and keep hold of it, and he did. It'll be 2nd down after a loss of 1 on the play.
Well, we're not used to seeing Smith Center make those kind of mistakes. You know, a snap between a quarterback and a center, done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times through the course of games through the year, thousands of times through the course of practice. You know, it's surprising at this time of the season to see a snap fumbled from the center.
On a day like this, though, when it's cold, your hands get slick, the ball gets pretty hard. It's almost like a rock out there, and it's very difficult sometimes to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Jay.
So 2nd and 11 for the Smith Center offense. And they're going to let the play clock once again wind all the way down. We go under 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter, and Smith Center is in absolutely no hurry to snap the ball. Handoff goes to Colt Rogers, fights way forward across the 45, picks up about 4 yards on the play before he's brought down. In there on the tackle for Olpe will be Josh Lambert.
Well, it's the same thing out of the wishbone look. It's just power football. Smith Center running power football. It's just that simple. We're going to put 2 or 3 guys over to where you don't have guys, and we're going to try to just get movement and run the football right down your throat.
Smith Center 4 of 8 on 3rd downs today, been pretty efficient when they need to move the chains, but here they've got a long one. And again, we saw him go to the outside last time on a 3rd and long. The quarterback will once again keep it himself. They'll go off tackle. He gets across midfield, but he's going to be 3 yards short of the first down. In there on the stop, Lyndon Stevie for Olpe.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Barta decides to do. Very smart, though. Great sideline management. 5 seconds left in the half, and they're going to call a timeout, so they punt with the wind.
We'll take the timeout along with them. 5 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Smith Center leading 28-7.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
The Marines have always been known for saving the day, from Montezuma to Tripoli, from Quezon to Iwo Jima. But perhaps the most important day they've ever saved has been Christmas with Toys for Tots. This year, give a new unwrapped toy for Christmas and help the Marine Corps Reserve save the day again.
Drop off unwrapped toys at McDonald's in Andover and Sedgwick County.
Back from a timeout with 5 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ron Jabbar taking the timeout so that his team could punt with the wind here at the tail end of the third quarter. A pretty savvy coaching move.
Well, that's just great sideline management, clock management. It all comes from the head coach who makes those decisions.
It'll be a fake punt. It goes to Trevor Rimpey, and he is able to get the first down. So we saw Olpe come with a fake punt in the first half. Smith Center does it here in the second half, perhaps trying to drive the nail into the coffin here, and that'll be the end of the third quarter. We'll take the break. 28-7, Smith Center leading over Olpe. We'll keep it right here for one moment. We do have a penalty marker down on the 50-yard line. We may have jumped the gun a little bit here.
There is a holding against Smith Center. That ball's going to be moved back, and I'm sure this time they will punt.
So a fortunate break there for Olpe after the penalty marker thrown for a hold against Smith Center on the punt, fake punt.
Well, it's kind of a silly, it's a silly penalty to get because they had the edge by such a large margin. There was no need for anybody to hold. The edge was there. They took the edge. There's no need to hold.
So the quarter will be extended by one untimed down. There's no time showing on the clock, but a quarter cannot end on a penalty. So one play here will be run without time being run off the clock. And the punt is going to go back to Cole Kruger. He touches it, and that's going to go as a fumble. Smith Center recovers the fumble on the muff punt by Cole Kruger. So one bad break leads to another, and Smith Center gains the break on the Olpe turnover.
You know, I feel responsible for that because just a few minutes ago, I was complimenting Cole Kruger on his ability to field punts. That time he didn't do it. I almost feel responsible, Jay.
So to end the third quarter, Olpe comes up with a very unfortunate turnover. Smith Center gets the ball back. We'll take a timeout. Olpe leads 28-7. The fourth quarter is coming up next.
How fast can a shark swim?
Can we get this cheaper at another store?
Which way to the convention?
Do we have the same fingerprints?
Curiosity is everywhere. Introducing the T-Mobile G1 with Google. Get yours exclusively at T-Mobile.
2 rations.
All in. Thank you, gentlemen. Come to daddy.
Made with juicy white meat chicken McNuggets.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Hey, welcome! Chicken McNuggets?
Yes. What's a party without the dip, right?
Smith Center gets a huge break on the punt that was muffed by Cole Kruger for Olpe, and so Smith Center will take the ball back after the turnover. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line in the Olpe end of the field with a chance here to drive the nail into the coffin here as we start the fourth quarter. Handoff goes up the middle to Trevor Rimpey. Not a whole lot going on that. Pickup of 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9. Paul, let's take a look at some of the numbers after 3 quarters of play. Smith Center 296 yards on the ground, 53 yards to the air. Compare that to Olpe's 82 yards rushing and 153 passing.
Well, you know, there is a disparity there, but you know, Olpe's just got to step up. They've still got a quarter to go. They've got the wind at their back. They need to get the football back. They need to stop right now. They cannot let Smith Center score again.
On 2nd and 9, Smith Center with the ball. And they're continuing to wait until the play clock runs all the way down so they can try to run the clock out. Handoff goes to Marshall McCall. the little-used running back, not used as often as the coaching staff would like to use him, but there he comes up with a nice gain, picks up close to 6 yards on the play, setting up a 3rd and 3.
Well, I don't know how he's not used. I look at his helmet. He's got all these little award markers all over his helmet. It looks like to me he's used quite a bit.
Used primarily as a blocker, though. Doesn't carry the ball a whole lot. Does have 6 touchdowns to his credit on the season. He's on the field most of the time because he's such a good leader. So 3rd and 3 inside the 15 now for Smith Center. And they'll give it once again to McCall. And he gets down inside the 5-yard line and picks up a 1st down. A couple of different tacklers in there for Olpe, Cole Kruger, and Bradley Argabright.
Well, you know, Olpe is now really honoring the outside. Did you notice how the defensive end jumped way outside? They're so conscious about not giving up the outside that guess what? You start giving up rushing lanes inside. That could be a real problem. It's a shorter distance on a straight line through the inside of the offensive line than the outside.
Smith Center on course to win its 67th game in a row. If they're able to hang on and win this game today, it would give them their 5th consecutive state championship and the Kansas all-time record. McCall, touchdown. A 4-yard carry on 1st and goal gives Smith Center a 34-7 lead, and Paul, that might have been the one that broke the camel's back for Olpe.
Well, and not only that, it looked easy, didn't it? I mean, with the fumbled punt return on about the 20-yard line, and not a long field that Smith Center had to work with. I mean, you just look at this team and you go, are they out of it? Have they mentally checked out of this football game?
Then Coach Barta, and then a play.
Smith Center to go for the 2-point conversion once again. They've only tried to kick 1 extra point all year, and McCall carries the touchdown, and he tacks on the 2-point conversion. 36-7, Smith Center leads. We'll take a timeout, the kickoff, when we come back.
What is he doing? Said something about not driving through Texas without getting a shot of a bull.
Guys!
Ooh. Maybe we should help him. First one to get an empty chip?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos, loaded with toppings so there are no empty chips.
Not it. Not it.
He seems angry!
Not it. Not it. Not it. Oh, not it.
What is wrong with you?
Taco Bell's new fully loaded nachos.
Not it.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Marshall McCall, his 7th touchdown run of the season, gives Smith Center a 36-7 advantage here over Olpe with 10:09 to go in the 4th quarter at Lewis Field Stadium in Hayes and the 2-1A state championship game.
You know, one of the things, though, that I just get the sense that this is an Olpe football team with a lot of pride. I just don't think that this is an Olpe team that, even though they may not win this football game, they're going to back down at all going into the 3rd quarter. You got 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. You're going to play well. You're going to build for next year. You're going to try to get better. You're going to try to send these seniors out with a good taste, having a good 4th quarter by not quitting, by trying to perform. I just get the sense that maybe the game is over, but Olpe's not finished playing.
The kickoff goes to Kruger. He takes it at the 20-yard line, is able to get upfield to about the 30. 10 yards on the kickoff return. Olpe will start there, 1st and 10. Trailing 36-7 with 10:04 to go.
Boy, when you talk about great coverage on kickoffs, you just saw a great example. Everybody in their lanes, everybody busting their rear ends to get downfield and make the play. That is top-notch special teams play by Smith Center.
Olpe, coming into the game, has had an unbelievable season. 13-0 record. They've given up just 63 points all season coming into this afternoon's game. A fantastic season, one of the best in program history for Olpe, so nothing to be ashamed of here today for the Eagles. On 1st down, the quarterback, Redeker, will keep it himself out across the 35. before he is brought down. Tackle made on the play by Sean Stansbury, the backup cornerback in there now for Smith Center.
Well, we've already seen what the wind at your back does in terms of formations. In the third quarter when Opie was facing the wind, they ran a lot of pro set, two back stuff, two receiver stuff. Now with the wind at their back, now they've gone to four wideouts. They're going to try to spread the field on Smith Center and throw the football, although the last time it was a little quarterback follow, but that's still a good play. But Opie's going to spread the field and try to get the football vertically down the field.
2nd and 4 for the Eagles at their own 36. Redeker throws, and he is able to hit his receiver, Cole Kruger, coming out of the backfield once again. He gains 5 yards and gets the first down.
Well, it's nice to see Opie have some success. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Opie have some success? I mean, they probably won't win this football game, but it's good to see kids not quit. That's what football's all about.
Clock moving as we approach the 9-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Smith Center with a 36-7 lead here en route to pick up their 5th consecutive state championship here in Hayes. That 5 titles will tie Lawrence High School's record and the run they had from 89 to 93. Redeker to throw, pumps, and he'll pull it down and keep it. Out across the 45, a pickup of 4 yards on the play. 2 different tacklers in there once again for Smith Center. We've said that a lot today. Very good on the gang tackling. In there with the stop primarily, though, was Chris Lehman.
Well, that's a good recognition by the quarterback saying, I have no receivers open. I'm not going to try to force a football into a receiver that's got great coverage. I'll tuck the ball, I'll find a little rushing lane, slip through, and pick up 5 yards.
Talked about Smith Center trying to match Lawrence High's record of 5 titles in a row. Hutchinson also trying to do it in 5A. Hutchinson, though, won the 6A title last 4 years and switched classes this year into 5A. Redeker overthrows his receiver Kruger downfield, throws into a bit of double coverage, and it goes incomplete, setting up a 3rd and 6.
Well, we knew they were going to try to throw the football vertically and try to get the football down the field in a pretty quick way. That takes care of it. But I'll tell you what, right now you've got a situation where Opie's going to have to figure out, we've got defensive linemen just teeing off. They're not even playing the run. They're in a jet, what we would call a jet formation, where they're widening their stances and they're just trying to get upfield and trying to get some pass rush. They're saying, I don't care if you run it on us at this point, but we're going to get pressure on your quarterback.
3rd and 6, Olpe at the 45. Once again, they're going to throw, this time facing all kinds of pressure. Redeker gets it off, hits Lambert. He's across midfield to the 40, has some room, and he'll go out of bounds inside the 30-yard line at the 28. Over there in pursuit was Colt Rogers along with Chris Lehman.
And Jay, how do you stop pass rush? What do you do if you want to slow down pass rush? You throw a little middle screen. You throw a little bubble screen. You throw a little comeback screen. That's a perfect call. I'll tell you what, Coach Schmidt may be behind, but he is certainly not out of this game. That was a great call to try to slow down the pass rush of Smith Center.
27 yards on the pass play from Redeker to Lambert. Puts the ball into Smith Center's into the field for Olpe. 1st and 10 at the 28. Again, the 4 wide receiver look, probably not going to run out of this formation. Again, they'll look to throw on the near side in the pass short hops. Josh Plumpy, the receiver, incomplete. Over there in coverage for Smith Center was Logan Tuxhorn.
That's really the first bad pass we've seen thrown by Opie. That the quarterback just kind of short-armed it. You kind of, every once in a while you see a quarterback with a wide open receiver, and he's so wide open you go, I'm going to aim and throw and just kind of push the ball into the receiver. That you can't do. You've got to haul back, throw with the same consistency, with the same velocity, with the same force that you throw every pass.
2nd and 10, and again, Olpe will line up with 4 wide receivers, 2 split wide to each side. Again to throw. This time they're going toward the end zone, and it is incomplete. Almost a great catch made down there in the end zone by Brad Argabright, but an outstanding job of coverage by Ethan Eastis, who's already got 2 interceptions in the game. There he prevented a touchdown.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a great job of coverage. But that was a great throw. It was almost a great catch. That was a pretty good play all the way around, except Opie didn't score. But if you take that out of the equation, that was a nice football thrown, almost caught, and a great job of defense.
So 2 incomplete passes set up a 3rd and 10 after the long gainer down into Smith Center's into the field. And Olpe with a 3rd and long here, 5 of 11 on 3rd down conversions so far today. 7:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Olpe down 36-7. Time to throw. They'll go over the middle, and this time it's complete and hit immediately as Lyndon Stevie. A 17-yard gain on the play, but he was absolutely blown up. Van Tucker with a great hit there after the catch.
Boy, that was the best hit of the day. You know, safeties got to be tough kids. Receivers got to be tough. I'll tell you what, that was a hit. The receiver doesn't even see the safety coming. He hears footsteps, but he still caught the football. But that was one of the best hits of the day by the safety for Smith Center.
It officially goes for 15 yards down to the 14-yard line for Olpe. They're getting closer to the end zone for the first time since the first quarter, and the running play by Redeker goes nowhere. Once again, in there on the stop is Chris Lehman coming from the linebacker spot, who's put together a pretty good second half.
I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying, well, why would he run the football at this stage? Well, you still got to run the football to keep Smith Center honest. That's a little quarterback follow play. That's worked for them earlier. Now, they gained no yards on that particular play, but you know what that says to linebackers? I can't just drop back. I just can't rush, upfield. I've got to make sure I play assignment football. That's why that's not a bad play to run the football in that situation.
Clock winds under 7 minutes to go on second down. Redeker once again will throw. Ball's batted in the air, and it's going to be caught on the tip play and taken in for the touchdown. Cole Kruger makes the catch and gets on the board once again for Olpe, making it 36-13.
Well, every once in a while, the football gods will just smile upon you. And that was just a nice concentration by the receiver to see a tip ball, to know to adjust his route, to try to get over, and then catch the ball, and then realize you're still 2 or 3 yards outside of the end zone, and keep your feet moving and fight and get into the end zone. That's a really nice heads-up play.
Olpe down 23 here. Will go for 2 to try to make it an even 21-point spread here with the 2-point try. They'll pack them in with a double-type formation, but they're going to throw out of this look. They lob it to the back of the end zone, and it goes incomplete. They were looking out there for the receiver, Wade Schmidt, coming out of the backfield, but it falls incomplete. 36-7, Olpe cuts into the lead, but Smith Center still in control. We'll take a timeout.
I am 46% less likely to use drugs if you coach.
I'm more likely to go to college if you be my friend.
I'm 52% less likely to skip school if you mentor me.
Thousands of Kansas kids need a coach, a mentor, or even a friend in their lives, but don't have them.
In just 1 hour a week, you can be the difference in a child's life.
Choose your role at kansasmentors.org.
Toy Boy is zooming into town with his velvet bag full of Christmas gifts.
Here he is now. What are some of the gifts we're giving away, Toy Boy?
Gift certificates from great stores here in Wichita, a men's watch, earrings, and a 1-carat diamond ring from Mike Seltzer Jewelers.
Go to these fine stores to register for Toy Boy's Velvet Bag Surprises.
Register at Mike Seltzer Jewelers and A1 Singer Sewing.
Toy Boy's Velvet Bag Surprises.
Olpe comes up with a touchdown. They were unable to get the 2-point conversion to make it 36-13 here with 6:38 to go. And Paul, they're down 23 points. That's 3 scores if you factor in a couple of 2-point conversions. So at this point, with 6:38 in the game, do you go for the onside kick here?
Well, you might as well. I mean, why not? You got the wind at your back. You need possessions. That's the key thing. You've got to have possessions to win this game. And Smith Center's going to hold on to the football. Even when they 3 and out, they're going to milk the clock, but they've got to get the football back.
And they will attempt the onside kick, but Smith Center is able to recover it. Trevor Rempe up there as part of the hands team unit, and he falls on the football at the 44. And so Smith Center will take over 1st and 10.
Well, it's very important that Olpe 3 and out Smith Center. If they want to, I want to say get back into this football game. I don't think that that's probably doable. But you got to get the football back into the hands of your offense. So you've got to play tough. You got to protect the edges. You've got to protect the inside gaps. You've got to get the football back. You've got to stop Smith Center. And the first down is important. Make it 2nd and long. Don't let them have 2nd and 3.
From its own 44, Smith Center looking to pretty much wind out the clock and claim its 5th straight championship. They'll hand it off to Marshall McCall. And he is going to be ruled down at the 41. looked like it might have been a fumble, and if it had been a fumble, Olpe would have recovered it, but the official's going to rule him down at the 41-yard line.
Boy, was that a break for Olpe, because he put a knee down on the ground as he did a spin move, and it was a nice spin move. The only problem with that spin move was the knee on the ground. Other than that, it was a thing of beauty.
So a break for Smith Center there. They will keep the football 2nd and 8 at the 46-yard line. And Paul, we've seen Smith Center run the same formation over and over and over all day without wavering from that formation, and they have been very, very effective all day long. They'll go with the same play call on 2nd down, and Marshall McCall is going to break free, and he is going to go the distance. Touchdown, Smith Center, 56 yards.
Well, that is certainly not the way Olpe wanted to get the football back, I can tell you that. But I'll tell you what, they just run this ball, I mean, with this formation, they run the same play. It's such an interesting concept of football. We talked about this earlier. Smith Center really doesn't care what you do to them. They're going to run the same plays. If you stop them, they'll run it until they can't stop you. If you can't stop them, they'll run the same thing until you do stop them. It's an interesting concept of football, but one that the Smith Center football team has bought into. These players say that this is a style of football we like. This coaching staff coaches it well, but the players believe in it.
McCall's 2nd touchdown of the 2nd half. This time Rempe will keep it on the 2-point try, and he's going to be hit near the line of scrimmage, and the try is no good. Smith Center 42, Olpe 13. We'll take a timeout.
Cherry Orchard Furniture says, keep your cash for the holidays. Over 100 dining rooms, bedroom sets, and living room groups. Everything in the store is red tagged. Up to 50% off. Mattress sets from just $98. Curios, grandfather clocks, and recliners all drastically reduced. Or keep your cash for the holidays. With no money down and no interest for up to 24 months. Hurry in today while the selection's best.
Shop Cherry Orchard Furniture for selection, price, and quality.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
A 56-yard touchdown run by Marshall McCall, his 2nd scoring run of the day, extends the Smith Center lead out to 42-13. And Paul, what an unbelievable run that's going to continue today for Smith Center. This will be their 67th consecutive win. Their last loss came in the quarterfinals of the 2003 playoffs.
Well, and you got a lot of kids coming back. You got a lot of kids on the sideline that are young. These are kids that, you know, this is sort of a tradition of winning that seems to be being passed from generation to generation, from class to class. These kids understand what it takes. I don't know that it's going to end anytime soon.
Kickoff returned out to the 34-yard line where Olpe will take it 1st and 10. And let's build on that a little bit, Paul. You don't see dynasties in high school football very often. 5 state championships has only been accomplished one time in Kansas history. Lawrence High did it from 1989 and 1993. And this year we've got 2 teams that could claim a 5th consecutive championship. Smith Center here in 2-1A and Hutchinson in 5A.
Well, you and I have both seen Hutchinson play a number of times, and I'm not going to take anything away from Hutchinson. They're a good football program. I mean, and I say program, not a team. I mean a program. But when you look at Smith Center, you almost seem to, at least I seem to think that these guys have a chance of going either longer than Hutch. Hutch plays in upper classes. This is a program that is built on simplicity. It's built on players doing the same thing year in and year out. Kids in junior football doing the same thing year in and year out. The simplicity of what they do is almost a thing of beauty. I know that doesn't make sense, but it allows these kids to perfect their style of football. Smith Center has a chance of doing this for a long, long time.
Cole Kruger shaken up on the kickoff return. He limps off the sideline under his own power. He's still over there limping around just a little bit, so he will not be on the field as Olpe tries to tear into this lead. On first down, Redeker hits a pass over on the far side at the 42-yard line, and he connects with Brad Argebright for a pickup of 8 yards.
Well, that's just a nice, the receiver just curls up at about 8 yards, and it's a nice pass. It's a nice pitch and catch. First thing you know, it's 2nd and 2. That's a nice pickup.
Argebright stays in bounds, so the clock continues to roll. 5:03 to go in the game. Smith Center leading 42-13. Olpe will send 3 wide receivers to the far side, left of the quarterback, Matt Redeker. And again, as they've done the most of the game, they'll throw it, hitting Josh Klumpy for a first down here on the near hash at the 47-yard line. 3 Smith Center tacklers in there on the play. Primary guy in there was Sean Stansbury, the backup cornerback.
Well, we'll probably see some success with Olpe with their routes underneath. Right now, Smith Center has their safeties playing a little deeper, which is to be expected. Smith Center now expects the field to be stretched by the Olpe offense, so you're going to see safeties a little deeper than they've been throughout this game, only by a yard or 2, but that's a big difference in terms of being able to get receivers underneath the coverages.
Going under center is the quarterback, Redeker. He'd been in and out of the shotgun for the bulk of the second half, and he'll hit Brad Argebright again on the near side. This one will be good for a first down. Some pushing and shoving after the play. Argebright gives a nice little shiver there to Chris Lehman, the linebacker, who came in there and wrapped him up and makes a stop. The Smith Center crowd gets a little wrangled over that, but the official's just going to tell him to knock it off.
Yeah, that's a good no call by the officials. Joe, we were talking about the greatness of Smith Center. You know, one of the things I've noticed about Smith Center is they have a ton of awards that they put on their helmets for yardage and tackles and things they do well, blocks they've made well. How do you know it's a good football team? Well, when you see football players who have so many awards that they use one side of their helmet with their awards to put their number on their helmet. Now, I like that. That tells me that those are good football players.
Officials are going to measure after the first down call, and it's going to be a little bit short, about a half yard short of the first down. So it'll be a 2nd and less than a yard call for Olpe here after the officials reset the ball.
You know, all these kids, and we're talking about these helmets, at least I was, you know, you look down at number 14, he has the Michigan Wolverine design with his awards, you know, with the 3 stripes going back from the front. You have players with numbers. You have guys that put their awards in a row on their helmet. You have guys that just put them anywhere and everywhere. You have guys that start from the back and work their way up to the front with their awards. You know, I like awards on football helmets. I'm sorry, I just like it.
2nd and less than a yard here for Olpe as we go under 4 minutes in the ball game. Pass is tipped and falls incomplete. They were looking for Lyndon Stevie out on the far side, unable to make a catch, and it'll fall incomplete and set up a 3rd down. 32 pass attempts now in the game, Paul, compared to 26 rushing attempts for Olpe. That's very out of the ordinary for that team.
Well, I would think so. I mean, it's obvious that Olpe, particularly with the win, wanted to throw the football when they had the wind at their back. But their inability to run the football in the quarters where they were facing the wind, that's part of the difference of this football game.
On 3rd and less than a yard, Olpe once again goes with the 4 wide out look. This time the quarterback, Redeker, will keep it. Gets the first down, barrels forward a little bit beyond the line to gain to about the 41, and he'll have the first down.
Well, that's quarterback follow. I thought he missed the gap because it looked like there was a hole to the inside. The quarterback decided that gap must have been closing pretty fast and decided to kick it to the outside. I thought originally it might be a mistake to bounce it to the outside, but he still picked up the first down.
Clock rolls, 42-13, Smith Center with the lead, Olpe with the ball, pretty much playing out the string, but I'll tell you what, Olpe playing with a lot of pride here, as that's just a flat-out drop out there by Jacob Karras, the backup tailback for Olpe.
That's just a young football player who says, oh boy, it's a state championship game. I'm going to pick up a bunch of yards. There's nobody within 10 yards of me. Look at all the yards I'm going to pick up, and decides he wants to run, only he forgets one thing, and that's to catch the football.
42-13, Smith Center with the lead, Olpe with the ball. 2nd and 10 at the 41 in the Smith Center into the field. Redeker to throw. Gets a little pressure, has to dodge a couple of tacklers, able to make a connection with Nick Karras out there. He does make the catch this time, but it's for a short gain. Picks up about 4 yards on the play. Couple of different tacklers in there on the play, Chris Lehman and also Dylan Corbett.
You know, we talked earlier amongst ourselves, earlier before the game started, we thought this game had the potential of really running pretty short. You know, we thought with Smith Center running the football and not getting out of bounds very often, Olpe running the football quite a bit, we thought this game had the potential for being a fairly short football game. But it seems like because of all the passing, it's been a college football game.
And that pass goes incomplete. That was an ugly play from the word go. Redeker couldn't get his hands on the snap, and then he short threw Jacob Karras out there once again in the flat, setting up at 4th down.
Boy, he wanted to get rid of that fast. The fumble, he couldn't figure out. Because his head was down trying to pick up the football, he couldn't feel the rush, didn't see the rush. Felt like he had to get rid of the football and threw the football really before he was ready to throw it.
Olpe will go for it here on 4th and 6 with 3:01 to go in the 2-1A state championship game, with Smith Center leading 42-13. Olpe, an unbelievable season, going to come to an end today on the wrong side of it, but you got to be proud of these Olpe kids if you're from that community. Redeker on 4th down, looks and throws incomplete. Looking over there for Josh Klumpy, unable to complete the 4th down pass, so Smith Center will take over and with their sights set on running out the clock.
Well, and what you're going to see, you're not going to see the ball bouncing outside. You're going to see Smith Center basically running double follow or double ISO. You're not going to see anything fancy. Well, gosh, you haven't seen anything fancy all day anyway, but you're going to see the same stuff. But it's all going to be inside. Smith Center just wants to run the clock out, get these seniors off in class. You know, it's a nice win, 42-13. That's something to be proud of. And this is just going to be a milking of the clock. This game will be over before you know it.
And Paul, all through the week when you and I were looking at film, you were talking about how simple you thought it would be to game plan as a defense against an offense like Smith Center. But really today, we've seen it in action. We've seen it up close and personal and live as we see Marshall McCall break free for what will be his 3rd touchdown of the game. Just a simply amazing play, and right there's an example of it.
Well, you know, one of the things that I'm going to say right now, Smith Center's not running up the score. That's not the type of play that runs up score. That's basically off tackle, double ISO. They've run it all day. You run that inside, you say, you got to stop us on this, Olpe. Come on, you got to have some pride in yourself. Step up and play. That's not Roger Barta running up the score in this game.
That's just a regular handoff that went for 63 yards. Marshall McCall's 3rd score of the game, and it's now 48-13.
Well, you hate to see that kind of score come. I'd just as soon see this game end without that last touchdown. Let the seniors for Olpe get off the field with a little pride. But, you know, you got to stop basic off-tackle plays.
They're going to throw it on the 2-point try, and it is batted down incomplete. Jacob Karras in there trying to knock it down. They were looking for Chris Lehman, the tight end, on that pass play, and it falls, and the 2-point try is no good.
Well, now, just as we said, Roger Bart is not trying to run the score up. He turns around and throws it on a 2-point conversion. I'm not sure I quite agree with a 2-point conversion and passing to try to do that. Run the football. I don't know that that makes a big difference, but Roger Bart certainly is not running up the score. And when you're so basic on offense and you're off tackle and with one formation, I don't know how you can run up the score on anybody. Basically, you just got to step up and stop what they do.
3 different Smith Center players with touchdowns running the ball. Joe Osborne with 2, Marshall McCall with 3, Travis Rimpey has carried it in 1 time. Chris Lehman also caught the touchdown pass in the 2nd quarter, so they really spread the wealth offensively, does Smith Center.
Well, you know, we're going to wonder in this game, we're going to look back and think, what did the turnovers do to Olpe? What kind of effect did they have on those kids? Obviously, you can't give chances to a team like Smith Center. They're just going to capitalize on all your mistakes. Turnovers, stupid penalties have really hurt Olpe today.
4 turnovers in the ball game by the Eagles, and they have come at very inopportune times as the kickoff goes out of bounds, and it'll be a penalty against Smith Center. 2 of those interceptions, Paul, were right down at the goal line.
Well,
and those are game changers.
That's exactly right. That's the right way to put it. Game changers, I couldn't come up with a better word. Those are the kind of plays that if you score, they literally change the way your team plays. I would say it changes the way Smith Center plays, but it wouldn't change the way they play. But how do you know that Smith Center Their kids aren't used to being under pressure, of having somebody push them. How do you know how they would respond? You get Smith Center down a little bit, and you find out a little about the character of Smith Center when they're playing under pressure. Game changers is a great term for that, Jay.
Well, Olpe's first interception came on its first possession of the game. Smith Center went down and scored to make it 6-0 to start the game. Olpe then drove, had an opportunity to take a lead or tie the game. Interception. Coming out to start the third quarter, it was 28-7. Olpe driving down to try to cut that lead in half to 28-14. And again, an interception at the goal line really changed the way things went for Olpe in this game.
Yeah, and at the time we were talking about, you can look at the score, but I just didn't have the sense that Olpe was out of this game. You said the same thing. Olpe was still in this, even down by 2 or 3 touchdowns. It was an Olpe team that's capable of moving the football, both on the outs. I mean, they could throw the outs. They could throw vertically. They had great success with a couple of the post routes. We just felt like that Olpe could still be in this football game.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. 2:42 to go in the game. Smith Center 48, Olpe 13. Redeker once again to throw out of an empty backfield and 5 wide receiver look, and this one is almost intercepted, and it was almost caught by the offensive player. That ball was jostled around by 2 players before it fell incomplete.
Wouldn't that have been a heck of a catch? That might have been the best catch of the day, but that route's going to be open. You got the safeties playing back. You got a 2-man shell playing deep. That route, they could come right back to it, and that route's open again.
Crumpy, the tight end, was the offensive player. He nearly ended up with the ball. Ethan Eastis almost made his 3rd interception of the day. Neither one of them were able to come up with it, and it goes incomplete. 3rd and 10 for Olpe, 2:36 left in this one. Once again to throw for the 35th time today is Redeker. He gets Lambert on the screen over the middle, and he's able to get the first down out beyond the 45-yard line.
Well, I'm glad to see Olpe get that first down. And time after time, to slow down the pass rush, what has Olpe done? They've come back with a screen. That happened to be a nice little screen to the fullback, who kind of slips through the line and catches it, allows all the rushing defensive linemen to run towards the quarterback. That's a nice play. A little too late, but a nice play.
Clock rolling, 2:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Olpe not giving up on this one. They're still going to throw the ball. They're still going to do what they've done all day long. Going out of the 4 wide receiver look. This time they'll run the draw to Lambert. Has a seam up the middle. Picks up 17 yards on the play inside the 40 before he is brought down by Derek McNary, the backup cornerback for Smith Center.
Yeah, it's another perfect example of the pass setting up the run. That time, there's the linemen for Smith Center are still teeing off, still getting off the football, trying to get upfield. They think they've got to get some pressure on the quarterback. A little draw, a little semi-draw like that, that's a nice play. That'll slow down the pass rush also.
1st and 10, Olpe. Once again, they'll look to pass. And hitting the backfield, but steps up through the pressure is Redeker, and he's able to complete a pass out on the flat to Jacob Karras. The senior backup tailback catches the pass for a gain of 9, but he does stay in bounds, and the clock will continue to move.
Oh, but what a great job of Redeker, avoiding the pass rush, stepping up into the pocket. That's just what all quarterback coaches in America teach. You feel that pressure, take a step or 2 right up into the pocket.
As the crowd on the Smith Center side begins chanting 67, 67, as in the number of wins in a row now, their team is going to rack up. Olpe's able to get the first down. Ball was carried by Josh Lambert. Several tacklers in there on the play, being led in there by Britt Nixon.
It's nice to see Smith Center get some of their younger kids into this game. You know how I know they're younger, Jay?
How?
They don't have a lot of stickers on their helmet.
That's true. Guys that don't get a lot of playing time, though, being able to contribute here in the state championship game as we go under a minute to go. Olpe with the ball at the 24-yard line. Redeker again to throw, and another drop out there by Karras. The second time he's done that here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I give Redeker credit for going back to receiver. It says this drive, that's the second drop pass by that young man. But I give credit to that staff saying, you know something, he dropped one, let's get the ball back to him. Now maybe you don't go back for a third pass to him. I wouldn't. But, you got to give credit to letting the kid have an opportunity to catch it again.
So Smith Center, 49 seconds away from its 67th win, an all-time Kansas State football record. the third longest active streak in the nation. Redeker once again throws, and this one had nearly intercepted out there on the far side. They were trying to, Aaron McNary nearly made the interception. They were looking for Brad Argabright out there on the pass play.
Well, everybody's looking to run with the football, and now it almost looks like, the receivers for Opie couldn't catch a cold if they wanted to. You got to catch the ball, then run with it.
Olpe has attempted 43 passes on the day, connecting on 23 of them, so they've done a pretty good job, better than 50% receiving percentage, but here on this drive, they've not had a whole lot of luck. And this time the snap goes over Redeker's head, and he's just going to take the sack. Getting credit on the sack will be Lehman. His third sack of the season.
And that may be the game, Jay.
And that one is probably going to do it. There will not need to be another snap. 22 seconds to go on the clock. And so all of the hard work that has gone in since August, the hopes and dreams of several young men from Smith Center, Kansas and North Central Kansas community are about to be realized. Olpe may snap the ball one more time, 5 seconds on the clock. They will. Redeker steps up for a long pass play down the field, and it's going to be caught for the touchdown. So on the final play of the game, Brad Argabright catches the touchdown pass. The touchdown is good, and that will be the final play of the game. They will not need to try the two-point conversion. For the 5th time in as many years, the Smith Center Redmen are state champions. (48-19), Smith Center is your 2-1A state champion. 67 consecutive wins, the 8th state championship in school history under Roger Barta, the legendary coach in his 31st season, and the Redmen are state champions. We'll take a timeout. We'll have the trophy presentation when we come back.
It's time for our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
Choose from our huge selection of area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate, and wood flooring.
You'll save every day on the area's largest in-stock selection of carpet in today's best styles and colors.
Want new flooring before the holidays? Buy now before it's too late, because Santa doesn't install. But we do. It's our big pre-holiday sale at Jabbar's Flooring Superstore.
For as long as children have looked forward to Christmas, someone very special has been there to help spread happiness. That special someone has worked hard every year to bring Christmas to every child, everywhere. And this year, like every year, he needs your help. Give a new unwrapped toy to Toys for Tots with a Marine Corps Reserve.
Drop off unwrapped toys at McDonald's in Andover and Sedgwick County.
The Smith Center Redmen are the 2-1A state football champions for the 5th time in a row. 48-19 winners here over the Olpe Eagles, who had a fantastic run come to an end today. 13-1 is where Olpe ends its season. Smith Center 13-0, a perfect record, and they have not lost since 2003.
Well, I'll tell you what, I feel bad for Olpe, but they have nothing to hang their head about. That's this good Smith Center team that beat them. Opie's had a great season this year. They've had a great offense. They've had a great defense. They played hard today. The thing I liked about Opie today was they didn't quit. Never did they quit. They kept trying, as evidenced by scoring a touchdown on the last play of the game. They've got nothing to be ashamed of. That's a good football team and a well-coached football team.
We await the trophy presentation to both the state runners-up, the Olpe Eagles, and the 5-time state champions now, the Smith Center Redmen. Let's take a look at some of these final numbers. 488 yards of total offense for Smith Center. That's right on their average. But really, Paul, quietly, very quietly, Olpe 400 yards of total offense. So we had nearly 900 yards of offense in this game.
See, I wouldn't have guessed that, but I mean, when you look at the score and you look at nearly 400 yards of offense by Olpe and only 19 points, to show for that, you got to think, well, this game should have been closer than that. 19 points is not a lot. But as we talked about earlier, The turnovers were so big. The penalties hurt this Opie offense. You know, the offsides, the motion that's the illegal motions, those kind of things. Those kind of things hurt, but the turnovers just killed Opie. 400 yards of offense, you should be winning those football games.
Now time for the trophy presentations. We'll honor both teams. As we mentioned, a fantastic regular season for Olpe, a tremendous run to the playoffs, just the second time in school history that the Eagles had played in a state championship game, the last coming in 1976. And here we'll see the Olpe seniors come and collect the state runner-up trophy.
You know, Jay, you think about being a runner-up. You know, there's a lot of high school football teams sitting at home watching this broadcast, not playing. You just got a handful of teams, 10 football teams in the entire state of Kansas playing today. That says a lot for that young group of young men over there in the yellow football helmets. Those guys played their heart out to get to this point. They played their hearts out today. They've got to be proud of what they've accomplished.
And now the state championship trophy will be presented for the 5th time in a row to the Smith Center Redmen. The team captain's coming out to claim the trophy, and they will hoist it again. Those 4 gentlemen and all the seniors on the Redmen team will finish their high school career without a loss.
You know, that's amazing. If only life could be like that on everything you endeavor to do, it would be great. But enjoy it while it lasts. You know, life will deal them some wins and some losses as they go on with life. But I'll tell you what, if you can go through your entire football season from your freshman year to your senior year and not lose a football game, oh, I could only dream what that would be like.
So Smith Center, 67 consecutive wins, a Kansas State High School Activities Association record. That record eclipses the old one that was held by Pittsburgh Colgan, who ran from 2000 to 2003, or from 2004 actually, without a loss. Pittsburgh Colgan's run ended with Smith Center's first title back in 2004. Those two squared off in the state championship game that year. Colgan's streak ended with Smith Center's first title in this run.
You know, life has ironies, doesn't it? I mean, and that's sort of one of those little ironies. But I sit and wonder, who's going to beat Smith Center? Who's going to step up and give them a defeat to stop this streak? You see good players coming back. You see kids that are well coached. You see young kids that when they came in and played and were called upon to do something for Smith Center, did it. And I just sit and wonder, how long is this streak? Are we going to get to 70? Are we going to get to 80? Are we going to get to 100? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to send it downstairs to Trista Hall, who is standing by with Smith Center coach Roger Barta.
Coach, you played a really strong game today, but you just couldn't seem to put points on the board until the latter half of the game. What do you attribute to that?
Well, you got to give all the credit to Smith Center and Coach Barta. He did a great job. We was able to move the ball in the air, but once you get a shorter field, they tighten it up and made it difficult for us to finish off drives. And we had some turnovers, but again, you give all the credit to them. They made the plays. On offense, they made a lot of big plays. We didn't make them work for it very easy. They were able to score pretty easy. So again, all the credit goes to Smith Center and their coaching staff.
You end the game with the touchdown, though, so do you think that gives the guys a better feeling about ending the game on a touchdown?
Well, we tell them that we're going to go till the last horn, and that's the last thing. The one thing I said to them there when we got done, I said, I'm as proud of you as any group I ever had because you played till the last second of the game, and these kids are going to do that. I know this group of kids, and that's the way we are. We're trying to strive to get to their level, and this is our first step. So hopefully we gain from this. We got a good group of kids coming back, and we'll use it for good experience.
You say you are very proud of your team. You ended on a great season, 13-1, making it to the state championship. Just how proud of them are you?
I can't say enough for them. And again, I give all the credit to the kids and my coaching staff. And I knew today was going to be a tough day because we lose 12 great senior kids that have been a great part to our program. And I can't ask any more of them. They've come to practice for 4 years and set the tempo and led us to probably one of the best seasons we've ever had.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Jay?
All right, Trista, thank you very much. With Olpe head coach Chris Schmidt. And he mentioned 12 seniors on that team made an unbelievable run in their final season of playing football. They played in the state playoffs all 4 years that they were in high school.
Well, you know, senior leadership is so important to any football program. The question is, do they have the youngsters to come up and continue that tradition that these seniors have set for them? They may not. We'll find out next year. Coach Smith will find out next year. But he'll have all those youngsters in the weight room, and he'll have them out wrestling and track and doing all the other things to make these kids much better. You know, Coach Smith, I think, did a good job game planning what he wanted. The only thing he had problem with was a little bit on the edge, as we talked about, with controlling the edge and taking away that part of the field from Smith Center. But I take my hat off to he and his coaching staff. I thought they did a great job game planning for Smith Center.
You got to take your hat off to Olpe. They did a really nice job today, and they never quit. The offensive star of the game for Olpe, Cole Kruger, 93 yards receiving, and he also rushed for 30 yards, so 123 all-purpose yards for Kruger in his final game.
Yeah, and the thing is, every time Kruger turned around, there was a red shirt. I mean, it seemed like that there were red shirts all over the field, and they just did a great job of running to the football. You got to give credit to Kruger for making things happen. He sort of put that football team on his shoulders and said, fellas, I'm going to carry you down to the other end of the field. Let's go.
Matt Redeker, 24 completions out of 44 passing opportunities. So another nice day for Matt Redeker, 303 yards passing, 2 touchdowns out of the quarterback Redeker.
Beautiful. That's a nice job, but that would be expected from a kid in that position.
A nice game out of Olpe in their final game of the season, but the day belongs to the Smith Center Redmen. Trista Hall is standing by with head coach Roger Barta.
Here we go. Coach, you're 3 touchdowns ahead. A muffed punt puts you 4. You end up 5 touchdowns ahead. Was there any point in this game where you thought you already had it before it was over?
Oh, no. I knew we was going to have to play. They're never going to quit. They're a really good football team, well coached, great athletes, and they played hard the whole game. It was a hard-fought game, I thought.
67 consecutive wins. It breaks the record for the biggest winning streak in Kansas State football history. What does that say about your football program?
Well, we've just had a really good group of people coming through, young kids and great parents, and our community supports us so well. It's an accumulation of a lot of good things happening, and it's pretty special. Hopefully we keep it going and win a few more, but you never know.
8 state titles for you, 5 consecutively. Does this one feel as good as the very first one did?
They're all special, you know, and it's special for the kids. I'm really happy for this senior class because when we started the season, we probably weren't a real good football team, and they worked hard every day, and you could see them improve so much from game to game, more than we usually see kids improve. And today I thought they played their best game, which is the way we wanted it, and they did a really good job.
A great job by your team. Congratulations, Coach.
Well, thank you.
Jay, let's go back up to the booth.
And Paul, talking about Coach Barta, 31 years as the head coach, 8 state championships, now 288 wins up against only 58 losses.
Well, I mean, we talked earlier, that's Hall of Fame numbers. That's get him to where he wants to be. That's a great job. I mean, but the simplicity of what he does is so outstanding. You know, sometimes in a complicated world, we think everything's got to be complicated. Everything's got to be hard to do. But he's figured out that simple is the best. Simple is easy to teach. Simple is a pretty good concept that kids can pick up. And he makes his offense so simple, and they repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And in practice, they practice it all the time. It's the same thing. And you do something long enough, and you get pretty darn good at it. He's come up with a philosophy in football that really works for him and his kids.
6,200, over 6,300 yards rushing in 13 games for Smith Center. They attempt only 19 passes all season long. So you talk about how they repeat the same thing over and over and over. That efficiency is very, very rare in football in this day and age, and it's very rare to see a team not throw the ball that much. But Smith Center certainly did do it. Earlier in the game, we made an effort to hear from Gary Musselman. We had some technical difficulties with that. We'll go to that now. Let's talk with Kansas State High School Activities Association Director Gary Musselman.
Association. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast of Kansas High School Championship football. For many Kansas youth, participating in sports is a big part of their educational experience. Many of those you see on the field today excel in the classroom as well. The mission of our association is to help students achieve a balanced preparation for life, work, and post-secondary education. And whether they're on the team, in the band, a cheerleader, supporting their school from the stands, or helping to produce today's telecast, it is our hope these experiences will create memories they will remember for years to come. A reminder that hard work and dedication pays off in the field and the classroom. Thanks for watching and supporting Kansas High School activities. Enjoy the rest of today's game.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Musselman. It's really a neat thing that they've worked out this year, the Kansas State High School Activities Association, to get these games on the air. Coming up here in about 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to go to Topeka for the Class 6A championship game between Lawrence Free State and Junction City, which that should be a good ball game also. Well, but it's a really neat thing to be able to broadcast these games across the state.
Well, it's good for the thing that's good for the kids. I mean, this is such a great moment. These kids have worked so hard. Kids in all football programs and all sports work hard at what they do. And it's nice to see them get a little credit, a little bit of reward, and to have a good time, and for us to show them on TV. That's got to be special for these kids.
And this game is a 4-station partnership between KWCH and the Kansas CW in Wichita, KOAM in Pittsburgh, KTKA in Topeka, as well as KCTV and KSMO in Kansas City. So it's a real honor to be able to bring this game to you folks for the first time here in Kansas. We're going to go back down to the field one more time to Trista Hall down on the sideline, now with a Smith Center player.
Joe, 200 yards for you today and 10 plays and 2 touchdowns. What keeps you going?
Mostly the line. Our line was just amazing today, and Colt opened up a lot of big holes for me, so I got to owe it all to them.
This is four titles for you. You've been on this team 4 years in a row, 4 titles for you. What does it feel like? What kind of excitement do you have right now?
It's just really just amazing how we looked up to those guys ahead of us last year. This year is just our year to do it, and we came out here and did what we had to do, and it just feels great.
Well, congratulations. A big win for you today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A big party tonight in Smith Center. The guys are pumped up. All the excitement down on the field. All their friends and family are here. I can feel the love on the field. Can you guys feel it up there?
Well, we sure can, and it's been an unbelievable run for Smith Center. She's talking with Joe Osborne there. 200 yards in the game and 2 touchdowns rushing for Osborne. And really, he got the ball rolling for Smith Center on the second play from scrimmage with that big 75-yard run out around the outside.
Well, you know a player when you see him. I mean, the kid's a player. I mean, the kid's got a motor. That's what we call it. We say the kid can play. He's got a motor. But, you look at a kid like that, just think, that kid, 4 years, never has known what it is to lose a football game in high school. I sit there and I think, boy, wouldn't that be something? But that's a player, that's a good kid. This means a lot to him. It means a lot to his family. It means a lot to the city. Congratulations to Smith Center.
The little town in north central Kansas where you drive all the way up 281, and when it stops, you hit Smith Center. For the 5th time in a row, they bring home the championship. Marshall McCall also had a great game. Most of his damage coming in the second half. He finished the game with 138 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Well, you got a lot of players. It's almost like these players can be plugged into position and be successful. Coach Bart has his system so simple that you take a player, you plug him in, it just seems like success happens.
To the credit of the Olpe Eagles, though, you never really got a sense that they were out of the game until in the 4th quarter. Even in the second half, their first drive, they come out, they're down 28-7. They drive down the field. It looks like they could cut it to 28-14. Then we have one of those game-changing interceptions. So Olpe really was in the game for the bulk of it, but it got away from them late.
Well, you're right. You never had the sense that Olpe was out of this football game. I mean, even when you're down 3-4 touchdowns, I don't know that I've ever seen a football game where I felt like, well, this team can crawl its way back into this game. It can somehow figure out a way, summon something down the field, a big play, a big special team, something that they would bring something back and put themselves into contention in this game. It didn't happen, but you're right. I sensed it all day long that this team could crawl back into this game.
488 yards of total offense out of Smith Center, 400 on the button for Olpe, 888 yards of offense in this game. That is unbelievable. We're sitting up here talking during a break. it didn't feel like to me that there was that many yards gained in the game.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of yards. I mean, that is a lot of football traveling up and down the field. But, you know, you look back and you say, how come only 19 points with Olpe? How come there wasn't more points scored? But part of that, you got to give credit to the Smith Center defense. They played well. They made plays. They kept receivers in front of them. They kept track of the rushing lanes. They made the tackles. They did what it took to be successful as a defense.
I want to thank the broadcast crew from Smith Center High School. They were the production crew of today's 2-1A state football championship game. They did an unbelievable job to get this game on the air. We also want to thank Trista Hall, our sideline reporter, Paul Savage. I'm Jay Sanderson. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Smith Center wins the state championship by a 48-19 score. Coming up next, immediately following this broadcast, we'll send it to Topeka for the Class 6A state championship game between Lawrence Free State and Junction City. So for everyone here at Lewis Field Stadium in Hays, Kansas, on the campus of Fort Hays State University, thanks for joining us. The Smith Center Redmen are state champions.
Toy Boy is zooming into town with his velvet bag full of Christmas gifts.
Here he is now. What are some of the gifts we're giving away, Toy Boy? Here's one right here.
Gift certificates from great stores here in Wichita, a men's watch, earrings, and a 1-carat diamond ring from Mike Seltzer Jewelers.
Go to these fine stores to register for Toy Boy's Velvet Bag Surprises.
Register at Mike Seltzer Jewelers and Bookaholic.
Toy Boy's Velvet Bag Surprises.